All right. What is going on, everybody? And welcome on in to another brand new edition of the Cinema Lords podcast, episode number 21. And this is pretty much the last little thing I got to do, check off my list of things to do before I head up north for the weekend, hit the mountains for the first time this year, do a little snowboarding. Going to be with Lukey Kleinen, who's also with us tonight. He'll be coming up there with us. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Going to be a damn good time. But I'm looking forward to tonight's show, too, before we get there. I'm looking forward to tonight. We got quite a few things to get into, as per usual. We're going to be talking the recent Oscar nominations that just came out yesterday. We're going to be talking about Megan. We're going to be reviewing that because me and Seth were able to check that out yesterday. We are going to be recapping the second episode of The Last of Us. And we have a couple of other news and little rumor topics to get into as well. So we have a lot to dive into. Before we do that, let's go around the horn real quick. As I just mentioned, on the ones and twos tonight, Mr. Lukey Baby. What's going on, bud? How we doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me back, baby. Pumped to get into some Last of Us and, a little bit of reward stuff. A few surprises that we weren't expecting on there. But, ready to get into it. Let's go.
Hell yeah. And you're fresh off a work trip yourself, right? You just got off a plane this morning?
Yep. Had like a national sales meeting for work down in Orlando.
Nice.
So got a little sun, and but back now.
Not a bad place for a work trip.
Yeah, not too bad.
So you got you coming fresh off a plane. Then we got my co-host this evening, which, as you can see, fresh out of work. A couple little mishaps, it looks like. But he's still in his work attire. Yeah. Mr. Seth Rogers.
I just thought, Academy season's coming up, so why not, dress up a little bit more. Let's keep it a little bit more formal on the podcast. No, not the case at all. Absolute shit show post work, but hey, we're here now. The show goes on, and as usual, a lot to talk about. So.
Yes, sir.
It can only go up from here because let me tell you, the last 3 hours have not been very enjoyable.
Not the greatest way, but we're going to have some fun now. As always, I want to remind everybody that we are on our race to 100 YouTube subscribers. We're getting closer and closer every day. Upon hitting that goal of 100 subscribers, we will be giving out not one but two different AMC gift cards for $40, thanks to me and Los. Very, very simple. Go onto the YouTube. Right below us, where you're seeing us talk right now, you'll see a little button that says subscribe. Smash that subscribe button, and you're instantly entered into the raffle. If you're someone that usually listens on iTunes or Spotify, go on over to the YouTube. Takes 2 seconds. Click that subscribe button. That's all you got to do. Easiest way you can probably ever win a gift card in your entire life. Just a simple click of a button. So go check that out now. From there, let's go right into the topics that I was talking about. News, rumors. I got a couple things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to start off with a movie that we've spent some time talking about already on this podcast. It's James Cameron's Avatar 2, The Way of Water. This weekend, crossed over the 2 billion mark. People are expecting to pass both The Force Awakens and Infinity Wars this week. Get to fourth all-time on the global box office list. So James Cameron did it again, ladies and gentlemen. The man, he talked a whole lot of smack on this run into this movie, man, and he fucking did it again. People show out in droves. People kept talking a lot of shit that, no one remembered fucking any of the characters. He was talking shit about comic book fans. There was a lot, but like I said, $2 billion globally, expected to be fourth all time. The guy doesn't miss.
I'm glad that it surpassed The Force Awakens, but Infinity War, that stings.
Yeah.
That stings. And then it's obviously going to surpass Endgame eventually too, so that's going to sting.
Just might. Who knows where this thing's going to finish?
You bastard.
It's done it quick, man. It's been very quick. Yeah, no shit.
Oh, yeah, it's been out, what?
It's been very quick.
Not even 2 months, probably.
No, it was right before
Wait,
Christmas.
6 weeks?
It was like December 20th or some shit like that.
What
so
the fuck?
literally 4 weeks.
Oh, my
it's already
God.
Done. 2 billion globally. I mean, like I said, the guy does not miss, and he backed it up. Like I said, he was talking a lot of smack, but the man didn't miss. I loved it. I'm trying to go see it a second time. I want to go see it again in IMAX. Luke, you haven't seen it yet, right?
No, not yet.
No.
It's on the list though, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna watch it on opening weekend, but it's 3.5 hours or something.
Yeah.
So I had no idea when I could do that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's definitely a long one. For
but
sure.
I have to do that for sure. It's on the list.
I'm definitely trying to go see it again. I want to go see it in 3D this time. I'm not usually a 3D fan. The first time I just went in to Dolby Atmos in Fall River, which was still really good and shit, but it made me intrigued to check it out in 3D. I want to see how fucking cool it is. I'm not going to lie. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I want to do that too, so let me know.
Yeah, we'll set up a date for it. We'll have to do that. But I'm not really, I'm not that surprised, to be totally honest. I kind of had a feeling that this movie was going to do really good again. I mean, fucking, just even when they re-released Avatar in September, it did fucking crazy.
Yeah, see, he doesn't have to cheat like he did with the first one and with Titanic and just re-releasing it.
Yeah, no. And like I said, when
this is going to be the old natural number one highest grossing.
Yeah. No,
Doesn't have to bring it back out 20 years later or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said too, when we reviewed the movie, I'm all in now too. Like I'm all in on the Avatar universe, man. I can't wait for the next one. Fucking, it's already done. They've shot 2 and 3 together, so it's already like in post and shit.
Yep.
Like I said, he turned in 9 hours of footage for the third.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
He
ridiculous.
turned 9 hours of footage into his editing team for them to do, and it's just like, yeah, we'll make the cuts, but we need to make.
Like
the
I was saying,
cuts.
definitely like the 4:30 on a Friday, dumped it off and was like, "Yeah, get back to me on a Monday on how this on how this was."
Damn. It took him a while, so at least he has something to show for it.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think this was 2022. I think the next one's 2024. Yeah.
Probably same time.
24
December.
December
Yeah.
24, and then December 26. I think it's supposed to be Avatar 4. I think he said that he's set for 5 of them at least, but who knows? At that point too, man, he's not a young cat. He's got to be in his mid 70s.
JC, yeah, probably.
Yeah, something like that. I'd say mid 70s maybe.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, look that up for us, Luke, because you figure that's another. Got to be going into his 80s if he makes like an A4 and A5.
Yeah.
Says he's 68.
6. Okay, so he's all right. A little bit younger than I expected. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so he was what, like 42, 43 when he dropped the Titanic?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. No shit. James Cameron in the water, people. The guy does not miss. He does not miss. Like I said, I'm looking forward to going to see it again. But good for Avatar 2. Absolutely killing it. Also going to be something we're going to be talking about in a little bit, which is nominations too. They got nominated. Avatar 2, Way of Water, nominated for Best Picture, which I'm not surprised by because this was kind of a weird year for movies.
Yeah. I'm not trying to look at the favorites, like betting odds. I don't want to see any like betting odds for who's going to win Best Picture, Best Actor. Because this time too, I've never really done it, but I want to take the time to watch all the, especially like the Best Picture. I want to be able to say I watched 1 through 10 or however many they are, and like this is my my list.
I've already seen probably like 6 of them, I think, at least.
Because then you got to figure too, like probably like 90% of them ties in with like Best Actor in a lead role, Best Actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's going to be some rare occurrences.
There was a couple of random ones. There was one on the Best Lead Female Actress.
Like Angela Bassett's probably going to be. I think she's in for Black Panther 2, but I don't think Black Panther 2 is nominated for picture. So you'll get a rare occurrence. But I want to take the time this year to watch them and rank them. I think I've seen like 3 or 4 already, like Avatar, Banshees, Top Gun, Elvis.
That's 4 right there.
So that might be the 4.
There you go. You're already off to a good start. Fieldman's is on
Everything Everywhere All at Once is the one I gotta watch. Yeah, that's what I have heard nothing but positive things about it.
You borrow the 4K if you want the 4K. It would be it's the best looking way you're gonna watch.
Give me the 4K, the 5K, the 6K,
4K Ultra
Whatever
HD.
you
Baby.
got.
Pop that thing in the PS5. I'll definitely let you borrow that. We're gonna get to Oscars in actually 1 second because we're gonna talk about that. But there's one other thing I wanted to mention before we get there, which was something that kind of fucking let me. I was disappointed a bit. One of my favorite shows that I've talked about on here a lot, Cobra Kai. The 2 lead writers, Josh Shield, John Hurwitz, put out a message to the fans on social media, basically, thanking all the fans and how much this ride has been awesome for them, just like a dream for them. But they decided that this upcoming season 6, is going to be the last season for Cobra Kai.
Oh,
And
really?
That just fucking broke my heart.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, that really, really disappointed me. I'm not gonna lie.
Netflix is selling out, man.
I was really disappointed.
I don't think it's their call.
Yeah, I don't know. They did say that they did, like I said, they thanked the fans. They said the Miyagi-verse and Cobra Kai as a whole.
Miyagi-verse?
Yeah, great. I love it.
That's great.
Fucking great.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's a good one.
Has like never been bigger and stronger. You know what I mean? Which it hasn't. Cobra Kai is huge on Netflix. So they were saying that they kind of left
so
the door
good.
open. They said for more like future stories from this universe. They said from future stories from the Miyagi-verse down the road. So kind of leaving the door open for them to come back and do some fucking something.
Time travel and quantum realm and things like that. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know, man. Netflix, they're rubbing me the wrong way a lot. Like, I don't know if you got to talk about it, but what we were talking about last week, the owner of Netflix, like, doubled down on saying that they've never canceled the TV show that wasn't successful. And it was like,
An outrageous thing to say.
right? Like you're talking about the things that like 1899 was like one of the top ones, and not only that, like, all right, so you feel that way, fine. So you're gonna make a Jennifer Lopez assassin movie instead?
I couldn't believe it.
Like that's not gonna be a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
couldn't believe
what are you talking about? Like,
That one-
I don't know.
Utterly baffled me.
They're selling out big time.
Yeah. I do, back to Cobra Kai, but I do get, the sense of some shows, there's been plenty of shows that went on too long. They dragged out.
Oh, God, yeah.
Terrible endings.
Yeah.
So there is something to going out on top and leaving the fans wanting more and coming back at a later date and telling, a different story from the same universe. But it just kills me. I love the show so damn
but I feel like that it's going to be the last season a little bit before.
before this.
Right,
Yeah,
before the last
definitely.
season's coming out,
Yeah.
like, all right,
Rose
there's
talked
2 more
about it a lot
seasons.
when
And
we
that's
were
it.
recapping this last season, but it seemed like they introduced some new things that were going to be able to keep this story going for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest questions I would say personally, as someone who loves the show and watches the show, is, all right, it's the All Valley tournament. That's like the big thing. But these kids, it's under 18. So eventually, once we turn 18, we have
What's going to happen when we're over 18?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to do something. So, like I said, they introduced something that I was like, all right, cool. I get it. This is where we're going to go now. But apparently not. We're going to wrap up this season. But like I said, they said really they left the door open to come back. And
So
do something.
and they said it collectively too. This wasn't like a writer's disagreement.
No. They literally, like I said, they like this whole thing's been a dream for us because they grew up loving
This
Cobra Kai.
this
loving
reeks
these
reeks of
kids.
Netflix and like the direction they're taking. I could
Yeah,
be wrong,
maybe.
but-
I don't know. I mean, I'd be shocked because that one I know is a fucking mass sensation. Like that
Yeah.
one, they're killing it on that.
Yeah.
But that disappointed me. But I'm so looking forward to season 6. I can't even describe it, man. I don't no date or anything like that yet, but sad.
Yeah, that's
Sad.
tough.
Sad. Definitely sad. Friggin' one of the best New Year's I had was watching season 4 live. Me, Lois, and Steph had a grand old time. Whipped up some dinner, binge watched the whole season as it dropped. Hawk won, fucking All Valley, my boy. Let's go. But
Don't forget.
that's right. Don't ever.
Don't you
forget.
goddamn
Don't you ever
forget.
forget, babe. I'll remind you often if you follow me on Twitter. From there, let's go into the Oscar talk like we wanted to do. Seth actually kind of mentioned how he was dressing up for the occasion. Funny enough, we're going to be doing our own little Oscar show here with the podcast. I've already been talking to Seth about it a little bit. I think it's going to be me, Seth, and Los. I think we're going to do it late February before the actual Oscar show.
Because it's late this year, right?
It is
Oh,
it's March 12th.
Yeah.
March 12th is the date. And we have a very busy March. On top of all the normal things, we have the bachelor party that we're going to be going to.
Yeah.
As soon as I get
Life.
back from the bachelor party, I'm going to Maine for the weekend to see Kirk Minahan in Maine.
Right.
So my March is booked for doing it afterwards. And I think I'd rather have ours come out first before the actual ones anyway. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I like doing it that way better. So probably looking at the end of February, we're going to book something like that. Going to do a nice Oscar show like we've done for Halloween and Christmas, something like that. Work something out. But we got all the nominations in yesterday. I wrote a couple of the major ones, Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress. But I thought the most important thing to start with was just the most nominations in total. And the one that won was the one we were just talking about, Everything Everywhere All at Once, 11 total nominations. It's a lot of fucking nominations.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
They fucking Best Actress.
For
is
not
up,
something that's like,
Michelle Yeoh.
like Star Wars or something, you know what I mean? Where you got like cinematography and stuff like that.
Yep.
So just for its own individual movie, getting that many nominations, yeah.
Yeah, and even just like specific actors and actresses, like they had Michelle Yeoh as for actress in a leading role, and then they had 2 actresses for supporting role.
Yeah,
nominated.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
And-
She's fucking awesome in the movie.
and then this other girl, Stephanie Sue,
Stephanie, yes. She's the yeah. She's
HSU, her last name. Not sure how you pronounce it.
That's a movie I'm definitely gonna be watching again very, very soon. It was. Have you seen everything?
I haven't, man. I want to see that one too. I tried watching it recently, but it was like only on the one streaming thing I don't have, Paramount.
Oh, okay.
But I figured it would
is it
come
on
out some other
Paramount?
way soon.
Like I said to Ledoux the other day, I'll holler at
I got one. I got a Paramount too. Yeah.
you. Login.
I'll get you on the Paramount.
Appreciate you.
I got you on that Paramount, though.
I think you guys actually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely a weird movie. I'll tell you that. It's like a fun, good time movie. It's very much my kind of movie. I'm actually surprised that it got the love from everyone the way that it's gotten. But it also, I like it too because I like it's got a nice, simple message at the end of it, which is very cutesy to me. I don't know. I loved it. It's definitely in my favorite pictures for this year. It might be my favorite. It's either that or Top Gun.
Nice.
That was
To compare it to Top Gun, yeah, I know how much you were, we both been raving about Top Gun, so.
Top Gun was awesome.
Yeah, so this one's in the same 1 and 1A kind of deal.
For me, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely, like I said, I can definitely see how some people might not love it and some not. It's not, I don't think it's for everybody, but at the same time, it's gotten, test through the roof. People love it. It's got nominated for Best Picture. It's got 11 nominations, so people do love it. So it isn't just me, but.
I haven't heard a single person that's like, yeah, here's a take for you. I didn't like the movie.
Oh, Steph didn't like it. I don't know. Take her word for what it's worth for you, but she did not like it. She gets annoyed with me every time I start talking about how good it was. But Los watched a little bit of it one time. I think he came in for the last half an hour of it when I was watching it one time, and he was kind of just like, but you missed the whole fucking first hour and a half. Of the movie.
That's null and void right there. You
Yeah.
walk in a half hour at the end of a movie.
Yeah. But some of the other ones that were towards the top, I was kind of surprised by. All Quiet on the Western Front, a movie that we reviewed on here, 9 nominations.
Little surprising, yeah. Lot of nominations.
9 nominations. I was surprised. Banshees of Inisherin. Again, we reviewed that one a couple weeks ago. 9 nominations again.
I'm telling you, Colin Farrell's gonna win the fucking award for best actor in a leading role. It's gonna piss me off.
Yeah, I mean,
I would rather see the sister who was nominated for supporting actress
win.
I would much rather
Yeah.
see her get that than Colin Farrell winning for. Like Colin Farrell's gonna win that before Austin Butler wins for
That's
Elvis.
gonna.
Something
That's
like that.
that's what that's
I'm
the guy
telling you.
that
I
would
said
be
before.
all right.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Elvis is number 4 with 8 nominations. One of them being Austin Butler for the best
It
lead actor.
ain't fucking Tom Hanks. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
Let
no.
me tell you, didn't get nominated in that movie. Tom fucking Hanks.
Yeah, I was surprised it even got in for Best Picture. Just
That
because
is that is surprising. Yeah.
Like I said, I liked a lot about the movie, but for me, Tom Hanks brought it down so much that I don't know if
No,
you
he
can put it into that
he took a
category.
dump. He
I was
took a
surprised
dump
by
in
a
the
few of
movie.
the. Honestly, I was surprised by a few of the Best Picture nominations. This year was, like I said, a weird year for movies. There wasn't too many fucking amazing movies. You know? What
Yeah.
I mean? Then we get The Fablemans coming in at 7 nominations, and then Top Gun Maverick coming in with 6 nominations. So those are the top 6. But all movies that I've seen, for the most part, all movies that I liked or at least were okay with. None of them that I hated. But I was surprised to see Banshees and All's Quiet getting 9 nominations apiece. That was.
Is Top? I haven't looked at the breakdown. Is Top Gun more like cinematography and things like that, or is it like Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise isn't in for best actor? Is
Nope.
He?
I saw it was best adapted screenplay or some shit like that. I saw it was best something to do with a song, best original song, some shit like that.
Yeah, right.
That was 2 of them. Best picture was 3. I can't remember what the other ones were. There was one I think.
It's not really
cinematography.
Yeah,
There was
like
one
Miles
sound
Teller's
editing.
not in on. Yeah,
Sound editing was
that
one.
sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah, which that one probably should win because that movie fucking
Yeah.
did sound.
Oh, God,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Wasn't just because we were in IMAX either.
No,
It just actually sounded awesome.
No, as soon as we saw the trailer for that movie, I was just I said it right then. I was like, oh, we're coming to IMAX for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that movie's gonna need to be fucking heard. You can just tell the jets are gonna be fucking.
Thought I was in the
rolling.
cockpit with Tom Cruise for a
real.
couple fucking scenes.
For real, that movie in IMAX.
I wished I was in the cockpit with Tom Cruise for a couple fucking
I'll be
scenes.
I'll be your wingman any day.
Oh
Bob.
God,
Big
yeah,
call, man.
absolutely. Sign me up.
So actually, let's get into what we were talking about. Best picture. Let's see how many of these we chalked off because I want to do the same thing. I want to chalk most of these off myself. We have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which we talked a lot about already. Banshees of Inisherin, which we've talked about, reviewed on the show. Elvis, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water. So you've seen all 5 of those, have you not?
No, not every. I haven't seen everything.
Oh, that's
Everything,
right. I'm sorry.
yeah.
You have okay. You've seen All Quiet on the Western Front. Then we have The Fablemans.
And I would say, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I would say the 4 that I've seen, I would say were good, but not. I was probably the highest on All Quiet on the Western Front, and I wouldn't put it in Best Picture category.
I can't either. I don't know.
It's a very good. I thought it was a very good movie. Like I said, I was the highest on it, but that's
There were so many other movies that I liked way more than that this year. Than it's not even questionable. One movie that didn't get any recognition at all, which I'm not surprised by, but it was a very solid movie, was The Outfit. The Outfit's something I want to go back and rewatch too from this year. That was really fucking good and surprisingly good. And it didn't get any love at all in the nominations, which I was surprised by. Which I thought that was way better than actually a lot of the movies on there. All Quiet on the Western Front,
Banshees.
better than The Fablemans. Tar is one that I have not seen, but people have talked highly about it. That one I'm definitely going to be checking.
I don't even know anything on that one.
I don't know too much about it either. That one I think might be based on. I could be wrong, but Luke, if you want to Google the synopsis on that, one,
Or at least who the fuck's in it?
I think that one might be like a biopic. I could be wrong though.
Let's see. Renowned musician Lydia Tarr is days away from recording the symphony that will elevate her career. When all elements seem to conspire against her, Lydia's adopted daughter, Petra, becomes an integral emotional support for her struggling mother.
Interesting.
So, doesn't sound like
It's
my...
like tar with an accent over the A.
I believe
like, it's
so,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
tar.
Yes.
Oh, it's the one.
That
Kate Blanchett's.
She's nominated.
Yeah, she's the one that's getting it for this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett.
So it's a psychological drama.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that one. I'm gonna check that one
It's
out.
out. Is this? It says
I only
Alec,
have 3. Now as I'm looking at this, I only have 3 to watch, and that's one of them.
it says Alec Baldwin. This isn't the movie where he accidentally shot the producer or something, right?
It might be.
I don't think so. Because I don't even think that movie ended up.
Because you would have to take a huge step back for production and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I
So
don't
yeah, I
think so.
doubt it.
Top Gun Maverick. Triangle of Sadness. This one's another one that looks interesting that I've seen. I've heard good things about too. I think this one's supposed to be like a dark comedy, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's got a good cast too. It's slipping my mind though. I know it's. I seen
Woody Harrelson
Woody
in there.
Harrelson. There you go. So I know it's got a pretty good cast. I thought. Was it just him?
That's really it. Not even
Yeah.
just people that I can see off the names, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this person.
That one intrigued me as well. I've heard good things about that one too. The only one, the last one on the list is something that I literally haven't heard about from anyone, read about. I have no idea what it is. Women Talking. Not a clue at all. Have no idea who's in it. No idea what it's about. No idea if it was even in theaters. If it was in just, select theaters, which I'm guessing is probably what it was. No idea though.
Yeah.
So I have 3 of those to check
Rooney
out.
Mara is the only one. Frances McDermott's in there too.
What's that one about?
Women in an isolated religious colony struggle to reconcile with their faith after a series of sexual assaults.
Okay.
So that sounds like, I don't want to sound bad, but that sounds like something that was made to try to win
Awards. Yeah,
awards.
especially right now.
Yeah.
Recency. Yeah. Definitely. I could see that. I haven't.
Like, please don't
I
take
haven't-
that the wrong way.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard a single thing about that movie, but I only got 3 to check out. I'll probably try to bang them out before award season comes. But from there, I mean, if I look at those movies, to me, it's a runaway. To me, I think that Top Gun, Avatar, and Everything Everywhere All at Once are basically head and shoulders above the rest of these movies.
Yeah.
Like by just an absolute landslide. That's to me. I know you didn't love Avatar that much, but I think the 3
No, I
of
mean,
those
it's
movies
still,
are just
I'm
on a higher level of movie.
yeah, but I'm an honest man. Like, I could see it. It's got to get the, again, cinematography and screenplay, things like, what I mean?
It's
Like,
got to fucking do it all. It's got to check all the boxes. And I feel like those 3 movies fucking, they didn't miss.
yeah. I mean, we're probably gonna jump ahead, but that, going into Best Actor, like, I haven't seen the movie and I want to, but there's got to be one guy you got to root for, right?
Brendan Fraser?
Got to root for Brandon Fraser winning.
I mean, I've talked about it a lot. I'm cheering for Austin Butler to win as Elvis. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought he became Elvis in that movie. I thought he absolutely nailed it. I mean, I thought he fucking
He
nailed
did,
it.
yeah, for sure. I don't know. Brandon Fraser making a huge comeback story. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Whale either, but I've heard good things about that one as well. But yeah, like I said, for those Best Picture, those 3 come out to me, jump right ahead. When we do our own award show, we're going to be able to kind of have our own, we're just going to be able to pick a winner kind of thing and maybe have our honorable selections after that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Something kind of like that. We're not going to have to pick from whatever's on here if you have something different kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
And did you guys have any snubs? Think anybody's missing from the list, or?
I mean, based on this list, I don't know. Like, it's weird to me. Like, there's a lot of things that I personally like a lot more than a lot of these movies. You know what I mean? I think that,
Yeah.
like I said, The Outfit's one that was really good. It was just a really solid movie, solid performances. Everything about it was good. It had a great little twist in it. I mean, to me, even Black Panther could be on here. I had a couple of these. Like, I liked Black Panther more than The Fablemans. I liked Black Panther way more than All Quiet on the Western Front. I liked it more than Elvis. I liked it more than Banshees.
Did you see The Menu?
The Menu, yep. We did. We actually talked about The Menu
that. Yeah,
about,
that's awesome.
was it last week, 2 weeks ago? The Menu was friggin' awesome. That's a great call, Luke. The Menu should definitely be on this list ahead of most of those movies.
Yeah. And then
I love The Menu.
Prey, I think was this year also, right? So
Yeah.
I thought that was a good movie. Could
Yeah,
have won some
I liked
random
Prey.
award.
I liked Prey. I think we're definitely going to be doing something for streaming too in our award show. You know what I mean? Having just like a streaming award, something like that, a movie show, something like that.
You're
There
gonna
was a few good streaming movies.
you're gonna kill me for this, but best score, the Batman should be on for best score.
It's not.
No,
That's interesting. Yeah, one of the only things that movie did do pretty good
was the
job.
score, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like. We can disagree about the movie all day, but if you didn't like the score, like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
that would be the
Yeah.
breaking point for me. I'm surprised that's not on there.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I would say you're right about that. Batman got snubbed a lot, which I'm glad because I thought the movie.
I mean,
stunk
yeah,
out loud.
you know, I love the movie, but you know, Robin Pattinson should definitely not be nominated for fucking best actor.
Could have been your boy Colin Farrell for supporting
Paul
actor, if
Dano.
anything.
Right? Yeah.
Penguin. He came. I mean, he looked nothing like Colin Farrell.
Even though they get anything for like best makeup or something, like even that's like,
Ooh, I don't
how
know.
the fuck do you not know it's fucking? You'd have no idea that it's Colin Farrell.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, there is a makeup category for sure.
Oh, Elvis is disqualified because of fucking Tom Hanks. Like they're on there, but like you're disqualified for what you did to Tom Hanks. You lose. Not a
Yeah,
chance.
he did look funny in that movie. Like you said, they're just talking best actor. We got Austin Butler, Elvis, Colin Farrell, Banshees of Inisherin,
And Shireen.
Inisherin. Brendan Fraser, The Whale. Bill Nye, The Living, which I haven't seen or heard anything about again. And then Paul Mescal is the kid that we talked about a little bit last week. He just got cast in Gladiator 2 from the After Sun movie that I actually mentioned last week, which I actually said last week that I had never heard of it then. And I still really haven't heard of it now, but I'm going to actually check it out just because he's in Gladiator. But to me, in that list, like I said, I get what you're saying for cheering for Brendan Fraser, great comeback story. But Austin
I'd want to see the
Butler
movie too.
run
If the
away.
movie fucking stinks, then I'd be like, all right, you know,
I think it did pretty good.
I don't know, but
I
yeah,
haven't seen it yet. I've heard fucking. It's a weird story though.
yeah. It wasn't I can't think of her name, like Ani, the one who played Marilyn Monroe. That movie got shit on, and isn't she in there for best
I couldn't
actress?
believe that. That's one of the other. Yeah, but yep. she's
That movie
on
got
Best Actress.
destroyed.
Destroyed. Yeah, people said it was like the most painful watch. People said they couldn't turn it off.
Not just it was a bad movie, like
got
it was like
ripped apart.
Yeah.
yeah. People said it was also like some. I mean, there's always the people that are like super uptight. No matter what the movie is, they're like, oh my god, like they said the F word one time, and there's children in the movie. This is horrible. But there were other people
Not from
that-
what I heard for that one.
Yeah, no. For this one, people were just like, "This is basically almost like torture porn in some scenes."
Yeah.
Like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Whoever directed this movie's a problem.
You're a freak. Yeah.
You've got issues, dude. But like I said, to me, Austin Butler jumps off the page in that category for me for best actor. I mean, he became fucking Elvis. I've been listening to Elvis like crazy at work with him because of that movie.
Yeah.
But I thought he killed it. I don't think anybody could have done a better job. I'm very excited to see him in Dune 2 now. I think this kid's gonna
Time
be
to take
star.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to take off.
Did you catch his speach at the Golden Globes?
Yeah.
He sounds like Elvis.
He sounds like Elvis now. Yeah. It's crazy. His head's like broken. He can't get out of character now. I did see that. That was funny. I think Barstool was fucking joking on him for that kind of same thing. Just like this dude's lost. Like he doesn't know who he is and
Right.
where Elvis starts and where Austin Butler starts anymore.
And you know what too? I don't think we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, but Rami Malek he did win for Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. So like if
I
that's
thought so.
if that's the equivalent, then Austin Butler should definitely be the front runner, if not, you know, one of the top 2 or 3 to win Best Actor. Because they're
yeah.
very, I thought they're very equivalent. Like Rami Malek did a fantastic job, and so did Austin Butler.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good call, actually. I like that. I think Austin Butler, if you were talking about the betting odds earlier, I would be surprised if he's not the
I'm
favorite.
telling you, it's gonna be Colin Farrell's boring ass.
Yeah, that would be tough. If Banshees cleans up, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Last but not least, let's do Best Actress. We got Anna de Armas, who we just mentioned, from her role in Blonde, which I have not seen, but decided
Don't
not
want
to.
to.
After the awful reviews.
Don't want to still.
Kate Blanchett in Tar, which we just talked about a little bit ago in the Best Picture category. We got Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie. Don't know what this one is again. No idea. I'm
nothing.
going to have to look into that one, though. Michelle Williams, The Fablemans.
You think that was worthy? Or?
No, that's like right away. That was one of my things. I was just like, she was fine, but like there was nothing about her in that movie that she was like, wow, that was fucking what an amazing
Yeah.
performance.
She's gotten a couple too, right? I feel like she's been nominated a couple times.
Yeah, what's the one with Casey Affleck there?
Is it? It's not Manchester by the Sea.
yeah.
Was she in
There
there
you
for
go,
that one?
Manchester
I
by
think
the
she
Sea.
won. Might have won.
I think she might have. Yeah, I think she might have. And then Michelle Yeoh, last but not least, for Everything Everywhere All at Once. To me, that's I haven't seen the Tar movie, so I'm gonna check that out. I guess I'll have to look into To Leslie too. But out of the ones that I've seen, which I guess is just that, and actually The Fablemans, I haven't seen Blonde either. But Michelle Yeoh was fucking awesome in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Wicked, like cracked me up so many times, and she had I feel like a funky role to play and shit. I mean, there's parts of that movie where she like turns into like fucking Neo basically from the Matrix for a little while. Like, fucking, it's crazy, man. The movie's fucking nuts. It's a good ass time. I think I think you guys are both going to enjoy it, I think. Especially, I have a feeling Luke's definitely going to enjoy it.
Oh, that's Paramount too. Yeah.
I'm 50-50 on. I don't know.
It's fair.
Yeah, no, seems like it's my kind of thing. All the parallel universe, like, clashing of,
They do a good job with it too, and the movie's just, dude, it's funny. There's a few times where you're just going to be kind of like laughing and shaking your head, like, what the fuck is going on right now? Kind of, you know what I mean? Just, this is ridiculous. But it is like in a fun, goofy way. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like I said, it's very much a movie for me. I'm surprised that people love it as much as they are, but I'm happy that they are. But yeah, like I said, end of February, we're going to be doing our own, little Oscar show here at the podcast. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a good time. We're going to do our own awards.
Yeah, it'll be enough time for me to catch up on these two.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a lot more free forming. You know what I mean? So you're going to be able to put your own movie list together and shit like that. We'll create some of our own awards, like I said. You know what I mean? A streaming thing like that. We're going to have some fun with it. You know what I mean? I like the idea of dressing up, getting snazzy for the pot. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with that. Like I said, end of February. I fucking love the Oscars. I love them. I can't.
Who's hosting?
I think it's Jimmy Kimmel.
Nice.
Pretty sure.
Is it? Yeah.
Love that.
I'll confirm, but
Love that.
let's see.
Much better than last year. Last year was tough.
They haven't really done a great job lately. I feel like with hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last
Jimmy.
year's was really long.
It's gonna be Jimmy.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. That's
Jimmy's funny. Jimmy's witty. I like Jimmy. I like that. It'll be good.
Yep. It's gonna have a tough one to follow up after. Wasn't last year the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing?
No, that was at what was that at?
Yeah, it was at the Academy Awards. Definitely was.
Yeah.
Because he won late. He won later for the Venus and
right.
Serena movie.
That's right.
I have a feeling he'll make a million jokes about it, though. He's not someone to...
True, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason,
he's got that, like, I don't think it's like legit beef anymore, but he's always had a battle with like Matt Damon. Like they're definitely gonna do something with like Matt Damon and Jimmy Kimmel. I think the beef has been squashed, but they used to like not like each other at all.
I think I remember seeing.
I think like it had to do with like Sarah Silverman getting involved too.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
be on the lookout for that. If they're gonna recreate that at all, it's definitely gonna involve Matt Damon.
That'll be interesting. But yeah. No, that's a good call, Luke. That's a good call.
Or some kind of nod to it.
That
They'll
was
do a
already
nod
year
to it.
ago. I feel like that was already a year ago. That's crazy.
Wow.
That is fucking crazy. That movie was pretty good though. And I'm not a Will Smith fan at all, but that movie was fucking pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent. From there, let's go to our review for Megan. Yes.
Yeah, we can get into it.
Let's do it. So this is a movie that I was actually excited to check out because this one's kind of like I've talked about a lot on the show. I'm very much like up my alley. Like I like, especially the horror genre. I like the goofier, like slasher. You know, even like Scream. Like I said, Scream's my favorite horror movie of all time. But that one's comedy horror. You know what I mean? Constant jokes.
Right. Yeah.
Some laughs at itself sometimes. Shit like that. I love Chucky. Same thing. I like the comedy slasher fucking thing. So this movie was right up my alley, right from the trailer. It looked like a fucking just outrageously fun and goofy time. So I was looking forward to seeing it. Checked it out last night, and I was entertained the entire time. The entire time I was entertained. I thought it was funny. I thought that
Definitely funny, yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought there was a couple times where I was like, "Oh shit, that was a little creepy." You know what I mean? I wasn't like fucking freaking out, scared or anything like that. I was definitely.
I'm not gonna lie. There were a couple of times I was not like just like in my apartment, like in the fucking fetal position. But there were definitely a couple of times when I was like,
"Oh shit!"
I was like, "Oh my god, dude!"
Yeah, no doubt. And it I thought it did a good job of like balancing the scales. Like there are a couple things that I would have liked it to do that I think could have made it a little bit better. Like I would have liked. First and foremost, I would have liked for them to go. I know that they were targeting teenagers, even with like the trailers and stuff, with her doing like the TikTok dances and stuff. So they kind of wanted to get that demo in the theater. If they had pushed it to that rated R though, and they had gone with a little bit more blood and gore and a little bit heavier on the kills,
you have to make this movie rated R.
Yeah,
you had to.
Yeah, I agree.
Had to do it.
Yeah, because it feels so much like a modern day Chucky, and like Chucky does not hold back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
Chucky's brutal. He's violent.
Yeah.
So I just feel like if they could have just upped the kills a little bit more blood and gore, I would have liked it that much more.
Yeah.
And then the other thing
that was the number one thing for me.
For you, yeah.
Number one.
The other thing for me was that while they did a good job with it, the movie's actually like a fairly serious tone throughout the vast majority of the movie.
Yeah.
There are like a couple of scenes here and there where it gets goofy, you know what I mean? But for the overall tone of the movie's like pretty serious. You
Yeah,
know what
it's
I
like
mean?
it's like we're trending this way.
Yeah.
Like basically whether it's toys or like, you know, just scientists making robots, like
Yeah, for sure.
we're potentially trending this way.
Oh, they did a great job with the tech, just as far as how, like, you know, it would be connecting to everything, all the Bluetooth. Like,
Yeah.
think about how like the Alexa speakers work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That shit,
yeah.
It's the same thing basically.
Yeah.
But I think they did a good job with it, and like I feel like it was if you look at like the plot of the movie, it's a hard thing to do almost so seriously, but they did a good job with it. I would have liked them to be a little bit more goofy. Not like too much, not over the top, but just a little bit
Yeah.
more of that goof factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Either one way or the other. Either goofy or gory.
Yeah. I would have liked a little bit of both.
Because like it was a little like definitely number one for me was you got to make it rated R, and then the second one was that initially I thought it was too long, but I think if you replace some scenes with just somebody getting killed in a gory way,
Yeah.
I think it ended up like the whole length of the movie would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot like the beginning of it is just like just way too long, fucking dragged on to me.
Yeah? Oh, all right.
But like I said, if they would have kind of took off running with like it being gory kills and things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
I think that would have.
It did take a good amount of time watching wise for her to like the doll to
And
start actually.
when it got going, it was good.
Yeah.
Like when that fucking one of the ones I was talking about, when I was like actually creeped out, that thing fucking running through the woods the way that it did
Yeah.
with
On all
Jason,
fours.
like, dude, that was
Yeah.
fucking terrifying, dude. I was like, oh my god.
Looked like the little girl from The Ring there. And that
Yeah.
scene, the second one when she's climbing up the fucking row and her
Right.
legs are like going over her head.
That scared
When I
the-
was a kid, that shit scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was terrifying.
Coming at you like a spider monkey, dude. Horrifying.
Oh, like like a prime example, like going back to the rated R, like with the neighbor, the way the neighbor dies.
Yeah, yep.
Like I don't want to get into spoilers, but like if you expanded that into rated R,
Oh, yeah,
I think it would have been a lot more
A lot more brutal.
like ooh, like
Definitely. 'Cause
Like
that was
gross.
that was like a cool idea for a kill actually, but
It was,
they can't
yeah.
show the gore really.
But you could have showed what like how it was going on to where if
Yeah.
you made it rated R, you could have showed like
Right.
what was happening.
Yep. Makeup could have done that.
And the
really
fucking the main actress, dude, what is she from?
She's from Get Out. She's the girl.
Thank
that-
you.
Yeah,
Oh my god, dude, that was driving me crazy the whole movie. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I was like, what is? It's one of those you're watching. And you're like, what are you from?
Yeah.
Like, I know
I
you're from
liked her. I
something.
thought she did a good job.
She did.
And then the
kid
second main
stunk.
character. Oh, I love her. I thought she. So
Oh, the
she's
kid
from.
stunk.
She's from The Haunting of Hill House. I love her. I think she's great.
The kid stunk.
I think she's I think she's awesome. I think she's gonna be traumatized. I was thinking, me and Luke were joking about that a little bit before the show started. So she's from The Haunting of Hill House. She plays.
When they have like the flashbacks of them as kids.
Yep. She's one of the siblings. So fucking, and she's. I mean, I think she's awesome in that because her adult character's probably the most fucked up out of all of them. She's like uberly depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So she's already kind of signed. She's like they show her as a child and like it's a tough role to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was saying to Luke, like she does that, which is the whole show is wildly depressing and traumatizing. And then she's in here, and I was saying how the opening scene, her parents die.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ, this
Yeah.
poor girl's gonna be fucking 12 years old and fucking depressed as shit. These roles,
She's definitely
man.
depressed, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
like
all she does is play. She has to play sad a lot.
yeah,
think
and that's
she's
the
good,
case. She did a good job.
I think she's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always tough. Child actors is tough, and doing I think horror's even tougher. I feel like, but
Yeah, especially when they're that much of a main focus,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's like there's a framework there. I think that could have been for this movie. Like the formula's there. I think they just got a couple more variables in there.
Yeah.
Whether it's like I said, make it like why not just make that rated R?
Definitely.
What was holding you back from making it PG-13? I don't
I think it was because I think it's just money. I think that's the thing.
like a horror movie in January.
Yeah.
So they're like,
I think
all
it's
right,
much
well, we're
easier
just
to
gonna
get teenagers at the
Yeah.
theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm sure
Friday
there
night.
was.
I mean, think about us. That's all. I feel like I used to go to the fucking
Right.
movie theater.
Yeah.
Every other weekend.
I'm sure there was.
You
You
know
know,
what I mean?
nothing else out really right now.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it probably did its job.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. It's already greenlit for a sequel, Megan 2.0. Sequel in the works. which I'm in for a sequel. I'll watch the second one.
Make
of
an
these.
Android 2.0.
If you had just shown me like this, like actually, well, the first time I saw this trailer before any review had come out from anybody at all, I would have been like, dude, that's going to be the biggest pile of trash.
Yeah, right.
And then once people started saying, they're like, it fucking works. Like, it shouldn't work, but it works. And I was like, all right. People are saying this is pretty good. Like, I went into it open-minded, and like I said, I enjoyed it. I came away, I said, what I said, 7.9? 7.9.
Well, that's pretty high.
7.9. I said, I was entertained throughout. And I thought they just did a good job. I was, like I said, R rating, big thing. A
Yeah.
little bit more gore would have been good.
It just goes back to just we're talking about any movie. It's all expectations going into the movie.
Definitely.
If it, like this one, this is a prime example. The expectations are at the floor, so if it exceeds it a little bit, like it gets a boost.
Yeah. No,
That's when you go into it and your expectations are way up here. That's when your fucking heart breaks.
absolutely.
So yeah, it was like 6.1, 6.2 is what I would have it.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a formula there. I just wish they would have made it a little bit, more variables in the formula.
Maybe they'll take your advice for 2.0.
Maybe. Yeah, I could see 2.0 being a little bit heavier now that we kind of... Because, like I said, the first one took a little bit to kind of get going, but that's because they had to, like, kind of introduce why, like, introduce this doll being made and all that shit, how it works, et cetera, introducing it to the character she's going to be friends with kind of thing. So there's a lot of almost, like, story to, like, get going. So now that we already done that, if we just bring the same characters back, we just 2.0, we can kind of just get right into the slashing and dashing, you know what I mean?
Yep. Maybe there's a couple more of them coming out or whatever. Just making clones.
Yeah. We definitely would be interested. I'm interested. I'll be there.
There's enough there. Yeah, there's enough there. I can be back.
Especially once it comes to streaming, you know what I mean? I'm just fucking, what else are we doing?
Yeah.
Chilling.
Yep.
Nothing like tossing on a nice little movie.
Yep.
Now, let's get into the real stuff. Let's get into the good stuff. Last of Us, episodes 2 this past Sunday, and another absolute banger of an episode, in my opinion. I thought it was
Absolutely, dude.
friggin' awesome.
Loved
Absolutely.
it.
All three.
What were your episode 1 thoughts?
Well, I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I heard your guys' episode from last week too, but really agreed with you. Like, they did a great job of getting us to buy into Joel's daughter, like, as a main character. Like, not knowing how the game goes, I thought she was going to stick around for a while. I didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, and but she really made us care about her, and that was a brutal death, and set it up really nicely. I also was listening to the companion podcast that HBO puts out.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they actually planned on it being a shorter episode initially. They were going to end it right after it flashes forward to current time, and Joel tosses that kid's body into the pit or the fire. Yeah. But that they decided to make it a really long episode and make sure they got all the way to Ellie and get her introduced. And I thought that was a good call too.
That's definitely the right decision.
Yep.
Yeah, that was definitely the right call.
And you guys should check out that podcast because it's. I was telling Nick, the host is the guy who did Joel's voice.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow,
in
no
the
kidding.
video game.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And then the 2 guests each time have been the showrunners, which is
Neil
like Nick was
Druckmann.
saying. Yeah, the guy who wrote the game.
Yeah.
And then also the guy who did Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. No shit. Nice.
So it's a pretty cool combo. They have a lot of good insights. I'll have a couple things as we go through this episode that they brought up for this last episode. But
Nice.
it's worth checking out.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
It's not too long either.
Podcasts all week at work. So.
Are they just coming up with these prologues on their own? Like, obviously, I know last
no,
season,
these
last week
prologues
was
are
one. So
completely-
this is another one.
Yeah.
Dude, these prologues are unbelievable. Like, the whole show is unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
they're really
these
good.
prologues are fucking awesome.
Really good. They like set the tone perfectly. I feel like
Right.
I was saying because me and Luke were talking about this a little bit too before the show started, but I feel like it's like they do a good job of like grabbing the audience and trying like, hey, like focus. Things are intense and not good. So
Yeah.
like pay attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like setting the tone
Yeah.
for the show.
And it's back to back people where they show their experts, obviously, in their field, and
Yeah.
like they both of them. This one more than last week, but like they genuinely show like their concern
Yeah.
for like how much this is spread.
No doubt.
Yeah, she had like no hope immediately.
She was terrified. Yeah, she's like, I just want to go home to my family. Like, bomb the city. I just want to go home
Yeah,
to
it was
my
crazy.
family.
That was a
like,
good. That was a crazy scene.
holy shit. And I just love too, it goes back to like just how they made the video game. But yeah, I think I said it on this podcast. I'm not a big, the whole zombie thing I think is, I don't want to say outdated, but it's very generic.
I love
you know,
it.
like how it spreads. This is just totally different.
Totally
the way that the way that the virus spreads. And so I love that one. It makes it that much better for me too.
Definitely.
It's not just the generic, like I said, like you get bit by a zombie and that's it. Or it's not, we're waiting until nighttime to move because and the zombie's just like moving through the nighttime. It almost is like kind of like Fallout for me a little bit. 2 episodes in a row I'm seeing, with just like the camps and things like that, and they're open in the daytime and things like that. So yeah, I've 2 for 2 for me for sure.
My biggest things for this episode that like really like made me kind of like like just kind of dropped my jaw a little bit. Was the actual scenery in this episode was
another one, like
outrageous.
the car crash in the last one, like HBO just dropped their pants on this one. Like another one, they just absolutely just pulled their pants down.
Just
like,
them walking through the city, dude.
Oh, yeah,
I was just
phenomenal.
like the
Holy
cars,
shit.
the destruction, the foliage, like how it's
Yeah.
every like. There's a couple shots where like there's one shot where they're just like walking. They show like a restaurant, and it was like clearly like outdoor seating kind of thing, and it was like like the tables were still out and shit, but there was just like a whole layer of moss over like the whole table,
Yeah.
all around like the cups. And it just like it
The
looked
buildings,
so fucking perfect. I was just I literally feel like I'm playing the game all over again, just like without a controller in my hand. You know what I mean? I'm watching a cinematic version of it. I just thought that they absolutely smashed it out of the park. I thought it looked fantastic. And then I thought the second thing to me was that the biggest thing, you know, with these games, you'll fall in love with a lot of different people and stuff. But Ellie's, you know, kind of the star of the show. And this episode was, I thought, the start, like a lot of big like sparks of that.
Yeah,
The first signs of her being the very like charismatic, lovable character that she's going to be.
And I was falling in love with somebody else too. So then by the time that it ended, I was like,
Oh no!
oh no!
Oh, no.
Like, no!
Oh no! Yeah, I said last week. You were like, did you say? I think when we were wrapping up, you were like, "You think next week's going to be like a filler episode?" I was just like, if what I think's going to happen next week, boy, people are in for a shock because it's going to be a doozy.
Only thing I was feeling was my fucking popcorn, dude. My bag of popcorn watching it. That was the only thing I was feeling.
Yeah, good ending again. Good ending again.
2 episodes and 2 brutal deaths.
Brutal, yep.
Like top 2 characters, like top 3
Yeah,
people, you know.
right. And at least the first one, it's like, you know, obviously you know how much it means to Joel, but like there's like 15 minutes of it. But this one's like the whole episode. So you're like, all right, I can see it going forward. They're going to be a major character, and it's like, no.
Yeah, that last
What the
like,
fuck?
8 minutes of the episode just takes.
But not mad. You're not mad that they died. I'm like, oh, that's stupid.
Right.
It was just like starting to get emotionally attached to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
HBO does it
ripped
again.
They ripped it from my soul.
First the Red Wedding, now they're
Yep.
killing all our favorite people.
Oh yeah, this show is going to be tough as far as attachment goes. I would say I wouldn't get attached to too many people. I would not get attached to too many people in this show. But let's dive in here. Episode 2, Infected, entitled. Not a much shorter episode title than last week. I was all right, not much there. But we open up Jakarta, Indonesia, which was referenced in the first episode over the radio, so we know that shit's going to be going down here. And we have another cold open like we were kind of talking about. So police, enter into this restaurant. They go over to the hostess, say, kind of, we're looking for this person. Girl points to the back. And they get this little old lady. They toss her into the back of the car. Not toss her into the back of the car. She wasn't arrested, but...
Get the fucking bag. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, do you mind coming with us kind of thing?
She didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. So when she's in the car, she's kind of like, hey, like, you sure you got the right person? If I committed a crime, they're like, no. So it turns out she's the professor at a local university. She's pretty high up in her field, and they need her help with something. So we see that we're going to go to this little science laboratory, and the police is going to give her like a little sample to look at under a microscope. And she's going to right away identify it as the same fungus that the 2 scientists were talking about in episode 1 on that talk show. So she's like, what's like the big deal? Like, why are you having me look at this under a microscope? This isn't anything special kind of thing. He's like, well, that's because we pulled it off of a human body. And she's just like, what you mean? Like, it can't grow on a human body kind of thing. Exactly like, again, the scientists were talking about in episode 1. So she's like, oh, fuck moment right there for her right away. So then we see
Something's
her,
not right.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
like, something's not right.
We see her get all, like, we suit her all up in one of those, basically like an astronaut.
The hazmat suits.
Hazmat suits, yeah, there you go. Like me cleaning out that trash barrel that one time. Looking like I was going through fucking Chernobyl and that fucking thing, dude.
Respirator on.
That thing definitely had radioactive fucking shit.
Yeah, it did have radioactive the shit, and that could have started us fucking plague, dude. My Lord, have
We
mercy.
almost had a real life Last of Us in that.
Yeah, no shit. Would have been started right here at 10th Third Street because of fucking me. That would have been nuts.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But she goes in and she's inspecting the body that they pulled this sample from. And it turns out this dude was bitten on the leg. She like cuts into it. And right away, she's just like, oh, fuck, this is bad. She fucking gets out of there real quick. And then her and the police officer are going to have a quick little chat. He's going to be like, all right, so, like, fucking, we need you to kind of come up with a vaccine or a medicine. He's saying that this whole thing started from this little field, and, like, this one dude, got crazy, bit 4 other people. He said that they brought him in to, like, basically keep an eye on him to see how they were going to, like, handle it and shit. They all went berserk crazy. They had to execute him. And then she was like, has anybody else gone, like, missing from there? Like, 14 other coworkers have gone missing from there. So she's like, oh, shit.
Oh,
So
no.
So, yeah, she's already like, this shit's rampant.
Yeah.
She's like, bro, and this is what you were kind of talking about. This is where I take a real intent. She's like, there's no medicine. There is no vaccine. Because I was just like, so what should we do then? Bomb
the city.
Bomb the city.
La Bamba.
Bomb everybody in here. And I was just like, oh, fuck.
She doesn't even like think there's hope to even try to find a cure. She's just like, we are so fucked right now.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, cure, like, no, fuck you, bomb the city.
Out of all the people that might have some idea on like how to fix it, she's just like, we're
Blow it up.
Yeah, we're so fucked. No
As
chance.
fast as you can, because the longer you wait, the more chance that those 14 have to go out, spread it. Those people have to leave the city. You know what I mean? You got to get on it fucking quick.
Yeah.
There's no time to be waiting.
It's so nice too the way they had it too, because it's not like the in that scene where she's inspecting the body, like she opens the mouth and like I'm on the edge of my seat because I don't know if you what like I'm thinking like, all right, this thing's gonna wake up, fucking bite her hand off or something, and then she's gonna be possessed. But then she just opens his mouth, and that's when these like the fungus starts coming out of her mouth and stuff. So they're like, wow. But even still, that I'm on the edge of my seat. I thought that thing was gonna come to life and bite her fingers off.
When she pulled it out, it was almost like like you see like those water like on the ocean documentaries, like the little bacteria thing.
Yeah, right.
Because it was like moving the littlest bit. It was almost like it was fucking like it was alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it did look like it was almost fucking like moving and shit.
Yeah, like reached out for her.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely was. Yeah.
And then she just like throws the shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very
And to go for it like like the guy's cutting the leg, and it's going like all the way up, going out of her mouth.
Yeah.
So that's why she's fucking bugging
the
out.
whole fucking inside.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It really kind of like shows us how the fungus spreads too. Like it doesn't just get into the bloodstream or something. It literally grows from the bite from the bite mark underneath your skin until it gets to your brain. That's when you finally lose it. And that's also why like the bites on your extremities give you a longer time to before it takes you over.
Right. Yeah, the leg's the longest is because it's the longest try. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it has to like grow just that much longer.
I got you. But like we were kind of saying, this was a very cool cold open again to set the tone for the episode and kind of just hook you in again. You know what I mean? If you were fucking paying attention to football all day and now you're kind of excited, now I feel like this kind of just fucking grabbed you. You're just like, hey, focus, shit's getting intense. You know what I mean? Like fucking throw your phone to the side.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
I waited till after work the next
ready.
day. I didn't wait. I waited till Monday Monday night after work to watch it, and I was like, yes, just immediately fucking glued.
Yeah.
Like I made dinner and like was eating it while watching it. I think I just like stopped eating dinner. Like I was just like,
Next you know it's just cold. It's just
right. I was like, all right, well, I'll put this in the fridge for later, I guess. But I love the cold opens too. Like I love just the scene, like impactful scene, theme song, and then we get into it for any show, not just this one. This one's 2 for 2, but I love those openings a lot.
Yeah, I was telling Nick, I'm hoping that they keep doing that, like keep doing flashbacks.
Every single episode.
Yeah.
Give me
Maybe
every
get some
single
of like
episode.
the footage from when they actually bombed the city, or like some of the mayhem that broke out like in that first day in other communities.
It seems to be like progressing that way too. Yeah. Because like the very first one is this guy just talking about this being a possibility, and now it is a possibility. So like let's keep going with that. You know what I mean? Like next week, let it be another one where it's like
You gonna have that?
no, take it. This like let it happen where it's just like let's keep going with this. We just have this story of Joel and here, but like let's show where it's at in different.
No, I hear you. If I had this is just a total prediction. I have a feeling that episode 3, if they do another flashback, it'll be with Bill and Frank. Something from like Outback Day, maybe. So then it'll show them like at the beginning of their story, because we know that the next episode is the Bill and Frank episode. They showed it.
That's Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's Bill.
So
right?
he's Bill. Yeah. So they're gonna be a big part of this.
Yeah,
next episode.
yeah. There you go. Get a little bit of their backstory.
So I think that yeah. Because like we know that like from the game, like Joel and Bill like have known each other for a long time from like a grip, but they haven't seen each other in like that long of a time, and it seems like they hadn't seen each other in a decent amount of time like before Outback Day.
So there's a falling out
before
this happened.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something to do with that kind of. But I don't know. I did see rumors online though that this third episode is going to be it's going to be like at the 80-minute mark again, like episode 1.
Nice.
Was. It's a long one.
Feed me more.
Yeah, which I could see them I could see them doing that because kind of almost the same thing with like what Luke was saying with the first episode. This will tell like almost a whole almost a whole story. So almost, I think this is going to be like the entirety of the Bill and Frank story will be episode 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're just
I
like,
got you. Okay. Like you rarely see Joel and Ellie in this. You're saying?
No. They'll be there right there.
Oh, okay,
You know what I'm
got
saying? The flashback, I think it'll be.
Got it, okay,
which
yeah.
Just,
Okay.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It could be something like you guys just said, though. It could be another one of these things that they created with scientists or doctors or something like that. But
Now that I think about it, I'd rather see a cold open of a little backstory with them.
Yeah, I could see that.
Then like, hey, what's going on in
And I think
Spain?
that'd be a good treat for the people that played the game because there isn't like we don't see anything about them really from before now. You know what I mean? But there is some tension there. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be cool for the fans
And
to
then-
see a little bit more backstory.
And in the
on
game, they
that.
don't explain the tension, or like you don't find out for a while.
No,
the tension.
not really. Not really.
So I mean, this is another thing they could make up on the fly.
Yeah.
I trust them at this point. 2 episodes in.
Definitely. Because
If they're gonna come up with something on the fly.
they made one big, not change, but they added something that wasn't in the games in this episode that was really big that I was like, oh shit, this is going to be a game changer for the show. So I'm excited to see how that plays out too. But from the cold open, we go to present day. We see this was a pretty funny scene. I liked it a lot. Like I said, this was a big coming out party I thought for Bella Ramsey as Ellie. But we open up and we see Ellie. She's sleeping in this kind of rundown old building. But again, like I said, foliage all around. It looked fucking beautiful. The sun's shining in. I was like, this is an awesome shot. She wakes up. She kind of like turns around over to kind of like get up and shit. And fucking Joel and Tess are both just sitting there like watching her like a hawk. Fucking guns ready to go. Like waiting for her to turn.
Joel's got the M16 in hand, ready to fucking
Ready to blast her.
Yeah.
And she's just like almost kind of like she makes like eyes, but she's kind of in face. She's just like morning, like that's it.
Yeah,
Just
right,
like kind of
yeah.
proceeds to get going. And she goes to get up, and Joel fucking kind of shifts his gun a little bit. And she's just
Oh, let's just get up.
okay, let me just sit back down real quick. But I was like, this is pretty funny. Right away, pulls out her arm, pulls the sleeve up, and she's like, dude, does this shit look like it's getting any worse? Like, it looks exactly the same, if not healed from last night. You know what I mean? So Joel and Tess kind of start giving her a little bit of, questionnaire, kind of 21 question kind of thing. Ellie responds again. All of these responses in this, I thought were like perfect Ellie. She's like sarcastic.
Witty as fuck.
Witty, yeah. Just like almost annoyed to be answering such like boring questions almost. I love it. We find out that Joel broke his hand beating in that soldier's fucking face in episode 1. His hand's all like shaking chronically the whole time. Looks like he had fucking Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Fucking dude was fucking shaking like crazy.
Hairline fracture.
Yeah. And even though Ellie's bite, is still looking like the same or even better, like I said, than it did the night before, Joel's not convinced. He's like, this girl's going to freaking turn sooner or later, and she's going to try to fucking attack us. We got to bring her back. Tess, like, dude, relax. We got to push through. Like, everything's going to be fine. Like, let's just kind of do this. So he's like, all right, fine. But, like, I swear to God, if she does one twitch, I'm fucking blasting this girl. And sure enough, Ellie just
Starts
starts twitching out like she's fucking turning into a clicker, which I thought was hilarious. Again, I said, coming out party for her is this character. She just is so charismatic and likable and funny and fucking, she's great.
And I love, too, that you can have, like, you could have easily had Joel being, like, this kid is now, like, the daughter figure for him, so he's already, like, emotionally attached to her. But it's the total opposite. He's like, nah, fucking, like, I don't trust her.
Yeah, no.
He's doing everything he can to not get attached too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's scared of attachment. He's
Yeah.
scared of it, which we're actually going to kind of see. We're going to hear a little bit more of that too as we get there. But Tessa's going to kind of mention that same thing.
Yeah.
But this was, like I said, this was a really good scene for her. I thought this whole thing was just very funny. I thought she was very witty, sarcastic. Like I said, the perfect thing to make me kind of just fall in love with her all over again, even though I know her so well.
Yeah.
And then this was kind of a big thing if you're a fan of the games. She, as we're getting ready to kind of head out for the day and kind of keep progressing, she's like, can I get a gun? The first time she's going to ask that. She's going to ask that question quite a few times. And she's going to hear the word no a lot. But I thought that was very cute. And they're just like, fucking absolutely not. And then she's just like, all right, I guess I'll throw my fucking sandwich at him. Which was a great fucking line. So perfect. Which I thought that was cute too. She mentioned them. They were like fucking Joel and Tess were sitting there eating like
It's like the hardest piece of beef jerky you ever saw in your entire life.
for real. And fucking Ellie's just got a big old fucking
that chicken?
nice white bread sandwich. Like, that chicken? Yeah, Marlene was feeding me good.
I don't know if you guys caught it too, but in that cold open, they mentioned that the substrate for the fungus was flour or like a bread factory.
Okay.
And so a couple things on that. One is that in the first episode, they barely missed having like things with flour in them, like 4 or 5 times. They didn't have pancakes in the morning. She didn't like the cookies that the lady was making. Joel forgot the cake that he was supposed to bring home after work.
Yep.
So like that, they intentionally made that.
No shit. That's that's awesome.
That's
I
deep.
like
That's
that.
deep.
That is
And
deep.
then,
I like that.
That's deep.
And then obviously she's eating a bread sandwich, which which I don't think anybody else really would be as risky with it. So like, not only does she have the chicken, which makes her special, but like she's also not scared of eating bread. Just like another hint at her being immune.
Yeah. That's
cool.
fucking
Nice.
deep is right. That's a deep cut. That's fucking cool. That's on the podcast?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yep.
That is very, very interesting. That's
Yep. So
fucking cool.
confirmed because it came from those guys. That is
I got you. Yeah,
how it
yeah.
happened.
But this was a good scene. I thought this was a good scene for, like I said, the setting of the tone for the episode. We're gonna kind of keep moving. Ellie, starting to fall in love with her. She's got the attitude down. Bella
Yeah.
Ramsey's killing the role.
You had a little little bit of smart ass in the first one, but
Yep.
like you said, this one hit, you hit the ground running.
Oh, she is. I would say she's like the definition of a smartass.
Yeah.
She is the definition of a smartass.
Yeah, but smart. She's like
Oh,
you,
she-
you know
yeah.
you need me. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like what are you gonna do?
Yep.
Like you're not gonna fucking shoot me.
Yep. And like I said last week too, she kind of works hard to be smart. She's constantly asking questions. She's a curious kid.
Just gathering knowledge,
she's
storing
always
knowledge.
looking around and
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? And sometimes it kind of gets her not into trouble. Actually, no, I guess gets her into trouble can be a good way to put it. But even like we're gonna get there in a minute. But when she's at the hotel,
I say you could
she
potentially
accidentally-
see her,
what I'm
getting
saying?
in
Like,
trouble.
She's just kind of fucking around having fun. Next, you know, she got a skeleton.
Right.
Now, you know what I mean? But we head out from where we were sleeping overnight. We see the city in the daylight. The city looks fucking awesome. Again, like I said, HBO smashed us out of
this
the
is
park. You see the budget.
pulling their pants down on this one.
Yeah, for
Like,
real. Just no kidding. Just showing how much money they put into this fucking thing. Built the world. Legitimately built the freaking world. And we weren't the only ones that were in all watching it. Ellie was in all too because she had never seen it before. She'd never left the QZ. She spent her whole life in there, so she just looked around. She was like, "Holy shit!" You know, different from what she's been told her whole life because she even kind of says it. But she's like, "Yo, like, where are all the infected and the clickers and swarms and stuff?" No, it's not exactly.
not just
like
that,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? But just absolutely looked beautiful.
She kind of gives us the first couple hints about clickers too. Like she asks if like are there zombies that have their heads split open and like
Yeah, I got that fucking in my notes as well. That was big time foreshadowing.
yeah. And she said
of
another
both
one too.
bloaters and stalkers.
Oh yeah, what's the other one? Or is that a
It's
spoiler
like-
too much?
Yeah,
or-
so she goes. She says like the ones that they had their heads split open and they can see in the dark. Those are stalkers. But they're like those are kind of actually wimpy ones. They're just fucking annoying because, like I said, they just like lure you into dark tunnels and shit like that. They just kind of like jump out at you from nowhere and shit.
Cool.
The bloaters, though, the first ones that she described, those are fucking big motherfuckers that literally throw like these bubbles of spurs, like kind of like basically like the fungus, like airborne, basically, almost like
spores.
a water balloon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, almost like a fucking little balloon, like a water balloon of spores, basically.
Wow.
So when he lobs it at you, it's just like instantly contaminated air. You know what I mean?
And there's one of those guys in the trailer, right?
Yes, coming out of the fucking hole. Like, it looks like a bomb basically went off.
Yeah.
It looks like him just crawling out of the hole.
So he's just existed for so long that the fungus grew out that much, or is it like
Yeah.
multiple bodies, or like?
Yeah, I think it's usually the way that at least in the game, it's usually ones that have lasted basically like the entire time, like they've been alive for 20 years. You know what
Just
I mean?
keep adding layers.
Yep, eating good.
Yeah.
Eating good. But yeah, like I said, the world looked absolutely perfect. The foliage, the destruction, the bomb. Like they were talking about the bombs that had been dropped as soon as the outbreak started happening. The bomb fucking crashings in the street. The cars, like I said earlier, the buildings themselves, everything looked so sick. From there, we're gonna kind of go to a test. All right, should we go long way, short way, kind of thing? And then actually, Joel's the one that asked, and then Tess is like, "Well, it's the long way or the we fucking die."
These by now. Like if you go in the short way, that's a last case of emergency. You got to go the short way.
Which was perfect, again, for Ellie, because Ellie was just like, based on that limited information, I vote we take the long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the dead way.
And is it like in this? Because obviously, it's like in plenty of video games too. You have that like if you go the long way, this is what you have to go across.
No,
and the
no,
short
no,
way.
no.
So this is like
Yeah, there's only one.
Well, you know
there's
what
one
I'm saying.
path.
Like
I
in
do,
video
yeah,
games,
yeah.
you have that option of going two different ways.
Yeah. No, that's one thing about this game that I actually kind of do like, because Sometimes I like the open world games, but sometimes they're just
No, just send me the long way.
man.
Yeah,
You know
just
what I
send
mean?
me the long
like,
way.
Just tell me where you want me to go. Just put me down the path. You know. What
And then
I mean?
you play the long way and you get it, and then you're like, well, shit, I'm gonna run it back and go the short way this
right,
time and see how that goes.
Yeah, no doubt. So we start going the long way. We get to that conversation that Luke was just talking about, where there's going to be some foreshadowing. Because Ellie, again, very curious. She's constantly asking, where are the infected? Where are the clickers? We're just walking in broad daylight right down the street without a care in the world. Like, this isn't what I've been told my whole life. So again, showing that curiosity, the foreshadowing. Tess is going to ask her a couple questions like, hey, is anyone going to come looking for you? You got parents, a boyfriend. She says, we find out that she's an orphan. We find out no boyfriend, which is going to be something that comes up later on down our storyline road. That's going to be something we're going to be taking care of.
Interesting.
We find out that she's 14 years old, and we also found out that she was bitten at the mall that she was not supposed to be in. It's completely closed down because it's basically boarded off and shit because it's so heavily infected. No one's allowed to go in. She ended up sneaking in there one night, ended up getting attacked and bitten, and that's how she got her bite. So, but a lot of information there about the character.
Yep.
Some of her answers seemed a little iffy to me, though. Or at least one.
Which one?
When she asked her if she was there by herself.
Yeah,
and
hey,
she was like, it was kind of clear the way they shot it, but she
Good catch.
looked
Luke.
awkward.
Good catch.
Awkward when
Good
she
catch,
said no.
Luke.
And they asked when they ask her those questions, she's very she's got it right away.
Yeah.
No, orphan, this, that, and the other, and then they ask her that, and then she's like, looks out the classic, looks off to the side or
Yeah, and they do a close up on just her face.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Well, that's a good call, Luke, because that's that was the second question that she wasn't being totally truthful. Well, I guess you shouldn't say she wasn't being totally truthful about the boyfriend thing, but
Yeah, she's still hiding
she
some
bent
info.
the truth a little bit.
Exactly, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's a good
Shows,
call, Luke.
shows her being smart, though, and even
call.
just being able to fool someone like Tess, is impressive, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. From there, we go to the hotel, which this was an awesome looking scene, and this was one that they plucked some things from the game from for sure. Quite a few callbacks. As soon as we kind of walk into the hotel, we see that a lot of it's flooded up, and that's where we're going to find out, just like we do in the game, that Ellie cannot swim. She's incapable of swimming, which poses quite a few annoyances throughout the game. A lot of floating boards that we have to go out and find to fucking bring her across, like we're on the Titanic.
It's like
Oh,
Ashley
really?
from Resident Evil.
Yeah,
Like, you're
all
like,
right,
what the
hang
fuck?
on, let me go swim around and find a fucking board.
Push the board down, have you walk
always.
across.
Like, all right, hop on, let me drag you across.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a cute little call, and especially the way that they did it too. She was just like, "Oh, I can't swim," and fucking Joel was just like,
Joe's like,
"Bro,
what do
you kidding?"
Yeah, what do you expect me to do? Like,
Well, no, it was funny because the water was only waist high.
Yeah.
He was like, "Dude, it's up to here."
do you expect me to swim? No, dumbass. And then he just
How the fuck was I supposed to know
jumps
that?
in the water. Yeah.
That was good though. I like that that's cute little tie-ins like that, little Easter eggs. I love it.
I wonder
And
if they're
then-
gonna make any plot points around that, or if they just did that little fun reference to as a joke just now.
Oh, that's a good call.
Or are they gonna?
Yeah.
I could see them
Is it
doing
gonna-
it one time maybe.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like you said, it must be something you have to deal with all the time in the game. Not sure if they're just gonna kind of
He's
do
gonna
a
have
joke.
He's gonna have Ellie stand there, in
Yeah.
the TV show, just stand there while Joel's
Yeah.
running around,
That's
pushing
literally
him.
what Ashley does in Resident Evil 4.
Help! He's just gonna go like, help!
Stands there. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it once, maybe.
Yeah.
I could just
Stay here,
Easter egg.
stay here. I'll be right back, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. There was a couple times though where you'd fucking be looking for a board and shit would happen though, and it would, chaos would kind of ensue. So I could see maybe that time being the time actually, because things go really awry. But another callback to the game is right from there. She's gonna go over to the front. Actually, she asked Joel and Tess. She goes, "Did you guys ever stay in a place like this back in the day?" And they were like, "Nah, a little out of my price range." That's direct conversation pulled right from the game, which is
cool.
awesome. Then she goes over to the desk and she starts impersonating as a guest talking to the check-in counter. She's just kind of being
Find us
funny
bowl
and
of
shit.
soup, please.
Yeah. Again, this one I think they kind of did different lines and stuff, but the actual action and all of that was taken straight from the game. Again, that's something that Ellie does right from the game. So that was cool as shit. Loved all of that. I love all the Easter eggs.
Was Joel calling her a weird kid from it too?
I think he actually does say that you're a weird. I think he does say you're a weird kid.
Yeah, that seemed like it probably was.
I think he does say that. But we're gonna, access our way through this hotel. We're eventually gonna come across basically a part of the building where the ceiling has collapsed in a bit and kind of blocking our passageway forward. So Tess is like, all right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to kind of fucking go around, shift through this debris. I'm going to open up this this doorway that's locked right now from the other side. So this leaves Joel and Ellie alone for their first kind of alone moment, their first little private conversation. And I thought this was a pretty funny moment again. I thought this was pretty cool. Right away, Ellie pulls out her knife, kind of just starts throwing that thing around, showing off her knife skills.
Not the first time wielding that thing around for sure.
Yeah, but she was to me when I saw that. So like she just saw what Joel did at the last episode, right, where she just beat that dude to death. Marlene suggested that these people are pretty fucking capable of some shit.
Yeah.
So like to me, she starts doing that. She's just kind of almost like,
I got it.
Fucking, yeah, exactly.
I got it.
I can fucking hang, Joel. You know what I mean? I can fucking hang.
Yeah.
And Joel even acknowledges it. That's a pretty fucking cool knife you got there. Where'd you get it? This is the circus, which again, fucking funny.
Yeah.
The circus.
Where'd you learn how to do that?
Circus.
I like right from there she transitions, but like she takes like a deep sigh, like it's gonna like she already knows it's gonna be problematic. She's like, "Where you from?" Like
Yeah.
starts the small talk, but with like such dread in her voice. I thought that was hysterical.
Yeah.
We find out Joel, Texas, Tess, Detroit, and she starts asking him a couple more personal
That's
questions.
in Michigan. She's like, I know it's in Michigan, dumbass.
I thought that was kind of like a reference to his daughter. Like remember how she kind of knew where Jakarta was? I feel like that could be one little hint at like something that'll make me think about Ellie and his daughter being more of a like, same person kind of thing.
I could see that.
Some of the same feelings.
I can see that. There's one moment in this episode that I thought there was a big, for me at least, I was like, oh, Joel's feeling the vibes right now. But Joel's going to, eventually after she kind of asked him, those simple questions, she asked him a couple more questions. How'd you come to Boston? There was another one. He's like, yeah, no more questions about me.
Yeah.
Which, that's another common theme going forward. Joel does not like to talk about himself, his past, or his emotions.
But he did open up a little bit.
The tiniest bit.
Yeah, right. But there's a little crack there.
It's a long walk from Boston to fucking
Yeah,
the West
right.
Coast. So
Yeah.
she's got time to chip
He could
away.
have started it right off the start. Where you from? Like, doesn't matter to you. Or you know what I mean? Something cold.
Yep. But then she kind of starts asking some questions about Infected. Again, like I said, constantly just learning the enemy, learning her surroundings, fucking trying to just fucking keep up. You know what I mean? Learn anything she can. But that's when Tess shows up. Time to keep on moving. We get to the rooftop, and this was a cool scene. This was the scene I was talking about a minute ago when I said that they introduced something entirely new that's not in the games to this show that I thought was really cool, and I think it's going to add a really interesting dynamic to the show. We're on this rooftop. We're kind of overlooking down onto the street below, and we see that there's a shit ton of Infected, like probably hundreds, maybe even 1,000 of them, all out here on like this fucking street. And they're all like huddled together in like a mass. And Ellie's like, these people, like, they're connected. And Tess is going to be like, more than you know. The fungus that is controlling all these people runs underground, she says, for miles and miles. So these vines that we see that are growing all over the place, this foliage, there's some that are alive, pulsing still, and there are other ones that are really old that there's no hive, that it dies. So the ones that are still alive, she's like, if you step on those, it's almost like a notification. It's like a fucking red flag.
Yeah.
So everyone else that's controlled by that part of like the fungus, basically, from miles apart, she said even, is going to be alerted to where you are.
Yeah.
Basically say like, hey, come and fucking get me.
Right.
So I thought this was cool.
So it is. So it's kind of risky, and I think it's like the next scene. But is it risky to like open up this, like open it up? Because if it's like,
this is not,
because if it's alive, then you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was right away like, this is a risky move by
Yeah.
Joel, fucking cracking that shit open.
Yeah.
But
Because if it's alive, then if it's that long, then
yeah,
it could have been fucked right then and there.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to make things very, very interesting. Just as far as like, I mean, you got to be watching every step you take now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every time you're creeping through anywhere,
Because you figure too, like it's a gamble because like if it's fresh, then they're probably nearby.
nearby. Yeah, right, definitely.
But you gotta know at the same time, like if it is dead, then you're a little bit clear.
A little bit, yeah.
You know, so it's
or at least more likely to be clear.
yeah.
Percentage game. But definitely, like I said, this was a cool dynamic that was introduced that I thought was like, all right. I get why that's not in the game because that would make everything like ridiculously, annoyingly impossible.
Though I test the fungus, you're like fuck off.
Well, I feel like for show purposes, this could,
Definitely.
this could be fucking cool. And I could also see them using it in some like cool ways. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, we're in a predicament, and all of a sudden we get out of it. It's like, all right, sigh of relief, and then all of a sudden just like crunch,
Step
just,
on
like,
it, yeah.
fall. Right. All of a sudden a wave comes. crashing
But
down.
it wouldn't be like if you were to step on it if it was live, it wouldn't like dispose something that
I don't think
It's
so.
not like it wouldn't be like gaseous that
That's not the way I took
can
it.
get
No,
you
on
infected.
the
That's not
podcast
the
they
way I
said
took
that they got rid of that feature from the game. That like there's I guess there's
Spores?
spores. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like it's an airborne way to spread it in the game. And you have to wear a gas mask a lot, and they got rid of that for the show. So
Yeah.
they replaced it with this.
Pedro Pascal's like, I ain't wearing no fucking gas mask
Yeah.
during this shit. Get
Well,
out
that
of
is
here.
one thing that like logistically doesn't necessarily make sense from like the video game because like
That is
if
such
it's
a localized-
airborne, it doesn't stay in a house.
Yeah, right.
Or a tunnel. Like it's airborne. It spreads. Wind
Yeah.
comes. It blows all over. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it necessarily doesn't make sense. If you had to wear a mask, you'd have to wear a mask everywhere. Basically,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for the game, it works. You know what I mean? It's not that many
Right.
times. It's usually when you're like in like say sewers, tunnels, shit like that. Really, really old buildings and stuff.
But it's not like the happening where it's like
Right.
where it's like the trees or
Yeah.
and the pollen spreading it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, that'll be completely cut from the show. But that's like this. Well, Joel's already kind of convinced in the game, at least. Joel's kind of pretty convinced that like Ellie's story's true and that she really is immune. But then there's a part where they end up in the tunnel, and he right away like spores. He like fucking grabs and pulls on his mask, and he like goes through the door, and there's like a couple of like guards. So he starts like talking to Ellie, and he looks at her, and she doesn't have a mask on. He's just like, "How the fuck are you breathing
Yeah, like,
this
what are you
shit
doing?
in?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I told you, dude, I'm not. Like, I can't get it. I'm
Right.
immune. I don't know how many times I had to tell you." And that's what like really in the game like really drives it home for him. You know what I mean? He's like, "All right,
Sold.
I believe.
Yeah.
I'm 100% fucking convinced now."
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll probably be cut if they're gonna get rid of the spores.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see more like the rules of that like underground neural network thing. Like,
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because it seemed like when they did get signaled, it was when it grew over like that guy's hand, right?
Yeah.
So it like actually felt like human. Whereas when Joel cracked that thing open, he just kind of hit it with his gun. Like maybe it doesn't need to like actually reach up and like feel a threat or like feel the thing it wants to send all the zombies after, or
Yeah, I gotcha.
like does it have to like
like cons? Yeah,
right,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if a building falls and like touches some of that stuff, then is it going to just send every zombie there, or does it have to? Maybe it's smart enough to know what it's feeling, you know?
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I think they'll probably have to get a little bit more intricate with that. But I think they
Yeah.
will. They've been
They're gonna
doing a
keep
good job with
explaining
the
it.
science of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that soldier scene was a little interesting. I almost took it like as like when Joel shoots him, which we're gonna get there in a second, but when Joel like shoots him, and the fungus kind of like I took it as like the fungus host is dead, so like the fungus leaves him, and like when he leaves, that's almost like hey, we just lost a fucking part of our thing, so like come here and fix this kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of message.
Yeah. All right. I can see that too.
But that's just just fucking theory. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Same.
Like I said, we see all these infected, hundreds of them. So it turns out that the long way that we were taking, that was supposed to be the safe route, is clearly fucking blocked. Which means that we now have to take the shortcut, which is through the museum. So right away, as soon as I heard that, I was like, ah, shit. Shit. Things don't go good at the museum. We go right to the museum, and we see right as soon as we get there, the fucking door covered in these vines. But again, dead ones. Joel starts fucking popping them, like we kind of mentioned. And they're all like, fucking rotten, gross, just fucking fall apart like dust, basically. So we're like, all right,
We're clear.
this seems like we're fucking good.
Yeah.
Tess even kind of says that they used to use this route back in the day all the time.
Yep.
So we're like, all right, let's head on in. You know what I mean? As we're heading through, this is when Ellie, for the second time, she's gonna go, I have like a spare hand, guys, and they're just like, that's awesome.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
Great, good job.
Yeah.
Take a shit. You're not getting a gun.
Yeah.
I thought this was good. We head on into the fucking building. We kind of start looking around, and we're like, all right, we don't hear anything. We don't see anything. Shit seems all right. And then Ellie comes across a body of a soldier, but this is a pretty recent one. Not
Yeah,
rotten,
fresh for sure.
fresh death. And fucking Ellie's like looking at it. She's like, his face is all like ripped up and shit. And she's kind of like, what the fuck did this? You know what I mean? So Tess starts coming up with her theories, trying to basically right away, trying to push Joel forward, like onwards.
Saying like the door was open, so maybe
Yeah.
it happened on the
Maybe
outside and
he
he's
went
hiding there and
crawled inside. Basically, just trying to convince Joel to go forward. So like I said, she wears the pants in this relationship.
Yeah,
know
you
what
can tell.
Sometimes Joel just needs a little push. But that's when he's gonna be like, all right, no fucking talking, like dead fucking silence. Ellie's just
right.
like, well, what about no?
Shut
Stop
up. Yeah.
fucking talking. No more talking. This was good. So they start advancing, through the museum and shit like that. Dead fungus. Again, the look was so awesome to me. Just the vibe. It was so creepy. That every step they're taking is with such caution and just like they're just looking constantly. They see like infected, literally growing dead out of the floorboard at one point, which I thought was a sick shot.
Yep.
All of it, the vibes feel so good. Like I said, it feels just like you're playing the game, but just without the controller. It's fucking awesome. I love it. I think there's no way that there's any fan of the games that doesn't like the show so far. There's no way.
Or anybody.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But we get to the top floor of our museum, and then we're gonna have our first run-in with our clickers. Our first look at the fucking enemy, and this scene did not disappoint, man. This was fucking intense.
No, yeah, it was.
This got you fucking sitting on the edge of your seat, sitting forward, like holy shit, man.
The
This was
noises are so good.
Yep.
So creepy.
Yep. We get to the top of the flight of stairs. We advance through the door. As soon as we get through the doorway, what happens? The building behind us. This was actually very video game-esque. This shit.
I was gonna
happens
say
all the time.
that. Yeah.
As soon as we advance through the doorway into this room, the whole fucking the way behind us just collapses.
It's like a boss
So-
fight or something.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
when you're like, oh man, there's a boss coming or
Shit.
something. Yeah.
Reload. Let me take some health.
Yeah.
All right, let's figure this shit. All right, where we go?
The
Let's go.
typewriter's there to save. You're like, oh fuck, like here we go.
Yeah. One way out.
Yep.
But this was good. So as soon as the collapsing happens, that noise basically fucking signaled to a couple of clickers because we hear the fucking clicking sound just reverberate through your TV for the first time in the series, and it was awesome.
Can't recreate it.
Can't. I mean, it's
Can't
fucking
recreate it.
awesome, though. It just sends shivers down your spine. Because it's like, oh, man, we ain't just dealing with infected. We're dealing with clickers. Like, these motherfuckers are bad, dude. They're fast. They're mean. They are vicious. They'll kill you quick. One good thing about them, though, is they are blind, which we find out. Same thing in the show. Joel keeps that going. He tells Ellie same thing. We're going to duck and hide behind some cover here, waiting for the clickers to try and pass through. And he's like, hey, they can't see anything. They're blind, but they can hear fucking really well. So there's a lot of times in the game where you can try to use stealth and sneak by if you don't feel like having
You're probably throwing bottles, in like the other
Definitely.
corner or something,
Yep.
or
bottles and bricks like crazy.
Yeah.
in The Last of Us, like crazy. But this was awesome. Fucking sure enough, as we're kind of creeping through, we end up stepping on something. Clickers freaking sprout out. One of them attacks Joel. Joel gets like a little tussle, tries to light him up with a machine gun, but he's like in a straight up, almost in a hand fight with this
Yeah.
fucking thing. So
Yep.
things are looking intense for him. Second one comes busting out, chases Ellie and Tess, so they stop, running around. And this scene, like I said, if you were on the edge of your seat for this, man, I don't know what to tell you. This was intense.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
got me going. This got the blood going.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. The
The way they shot it too.
Yep. I love this the part where Joel he's hiding behind kind of like almost like a display, like a glass display kind of a thing, and he tucks his flashlight into like his neck here,
Yeah.
and he starts reloading,
checking to see
his
how much
revolver.
bullets he's got left.
Oh man, that's the best because so in like the game, the revolver is like kind of like your heavy gun. That's
Yeah.
when you're fighting a clicker, that's what you pull out. It's got
Yeah.
more firepower. and
Right,
shit, you know
right.
what I mean, but obviously reloading, it's a fucking
Yeah.
bitch. So like, I just was like, oh yeah, it's perfect. It's like it's
Yeah.
coming, it's right there.
And I'm
You just
thinking,
hear
I'm
it clicking
thinking,
right
I'm
around the
thinking too,
corner.
like he's dropping a bullet, or he's
yeah.
dropping the flashlight. And we're like, oh fuck.
Joe doesn't make mistakes.
No, clearly
Joel
not.
don't
Yeah,
Joel
you
don't
can tell.
make mistakes.
I mean, you just had like you said, like right there. So I'm like, all right, he's dropping fucking something, and that's how
Yeah.
it's alerting the
I
clicker.
thought that was an awesome looking, just an awesome looking shot.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the way that they panned away from the clicker too. So like the same way that if Joel's not looking around that corner, he doesn't know exactly how close
Yeah.
it is.
Yes,
And then they come back to it, and he's right fucking there.
Yep.
And then they can't see or sense the flashlight either. So I thought that was kind of a cool. I don't know. They're gonna get a lot of cool shots out of that too, where they, just expose the thing in full light, but he can't see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what the first time you see it, right? Like he's got the flashlight shining right on it.
Yeah,
That's where you
it's
see
like
his
right-
face,
right-
and he's
right
like,
there.
yeah.
It's right in your face. He just lets out a screech too at one point, like
Yeah.
right up, which is awesome. But then he's gonna let this kind of clicker kind of basically walk away for a minute, so he kind of doesn't hear him. Reloads his gun. He gets over to Ellie, so he's like, "All right, Ellie, like on me, kind of thing, like stay right on my ass." They start creeping through, trying to probably go find Tess and get the hell out of here. Joel now accidentally steps on something. It seems like an old bone or something like that. Lets out a cracking noise, and the fucking clicker just comes launching over the fucking table thing that they're hiding behind.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit. And he's like got them both. He's like got them both tackled. He's got like fucking both Ellie and Joel on the ground like the same time. And at first it seems like he's almost kind of trying to get on top of Ellie, but Joel almost kind of wrestles him over to him.
Yeah.
Which showing a little bit of that like kind of fatherly instinct
For
kind
sure.
of thing right
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? He's like, this is my fucking kind of problem. Ends up fucking putting a couple of shots into his belly, gets the thing off of him, and then fucking puts a couple into his head. Gangsta scene.
Yeah.
But then the shots fucking call the other clicker over, so the other clicker comes flying at him. As he comes flying over, though, Tess delivers a hatchet to the head.
Yep.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Thing's just looking around, the hatchet.
Yeah,
just
right.
fucking hanging in his head, dude.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That was cool. And then fucking Joel puts that one down, too, with a couple shots. Ding, ding, ding. Couple clickers down and out, though. And we see everyone, for the most part's pretty okay. We find out Tess, rolled her ankle a little bit, which if you're me, that means you're dead. You're done in the water.
Go on without me.
Hey, I've been around for 20 years. I rolled my ankle. No! It's over. It's all done for me, guys.
I lasted 20 years without rolling my ankle.
I always knew this was how it's going to end for me.
That electric tape he was using, that would not have worked on.
Oh, no way. I'd have like, bro, you have to carry me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit. And then we see that right almost in the same spot that she was already bitten in, which is interesting. I don't know if that was just like a weird thing that they wanted to throw in there, or if maybe there's something to it. If maybe that bite, there's a smell coming from it, or a
Right.
underlying fungi that's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
some
it
sort of
seemed
like an attraction. Like
Yeah.
Same thing with the last shot, that creepy like kiss at the end of the episode.
True. Yeah.
That was kind of like a, I don't know, like
Maybe
an
they could,
embrace.
Maybe
like,
they could use it too. Like it's like in fucking like Lord of the Rings. He has like the orc sword.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So could it be like if it's lit up, then it's kind of like danger close.
True.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I just found that a little bit, too ironic for her to get hit in the exact same spot.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But she got caught with a scratch or a bite or whatever have you, and she's just like, hey, if it was gonna be one of the three of us, good thing it was me. Which that's, I guess, the right mindset to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But right away,
Been there,
Joel
done
kind of
that.
on guard again. Joel just like, I don't know, man. Like she was fine one time, but what happens if like the second time? You know what I mean? Like what happens if this is the time that pushes her over the edge and now she mutates, kind of a thing. But Tess kind of just like, dude, just like, can we just be happy we survived, and can we just relax? Like, so let's just move forward, please.
Yeah.
Like, you're always so fucking negative.
He wants to like shut it down now, and it's like, come on, man! Like,
for real.
we got to keep going.
Oh man.
They were saying after the episode too that a lot of the actors that played the clickers that they're all like avid video game fans of the Last of Us games.
Oh no shit.
And that they kind of like have a good feel for how to move like them, and
That's awesome.
can even like make some of the sounds and shit. So kind of like a cool immersive way to
Hey,
do
God
it.
bless
That
him if
is
he can.
awesome.
Like being all twitchy like they are, but like explosively athletic and like, but also I don't know. It's a cool combo. Just like they're so reckless and like
Dude, they go
loose,
from
but-
0 to 100 real
Yeah.
quick. Like sometimes when they're just like creeping around, like they almost look like they're like in rock formation. Like it hurts them to move almost. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they
Yeah.
move so slow, but then like the slightest little sound, then all of a sudden it's fucking
Yeah.
Usain Bolt's on you. You know what I mean? It's
Or they're like moving like they're not like moving their arms when they walk. It's like they're like shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're just like their arms are just like dead.
Yeah.
And they're just moving their shoulders along until, like you said,
and
they
they're
hear.
like freakishly athletic.
Yeah, right. And then all of a sudden they're
Banshee.
just jumping over tables and shit. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Even these clickers, like the clickers have been alive for a few years too. They're like pretty mutated as well. That's why like their faces, like their face basically is one huge fungus. You know what I mean? That's why like it overgrew their eyes and all of their shit.
Are they doing like echolocation with the clicking? Like is it?
Yeah, that's yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Right.
fucking bats, right?
Yeah.
yeah. That's
That's pretty
exactly
cool.
what it is. Yeah, it's like the fucking. That's why that sound like reverberates back and it fucking gets. That's how they're able to track.
Sonar.
So it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, that's the one.
So you don't necessarily have to make noise. Or can it maybe sense you just by?
So
echolocation?
that's what. Yeah, exactly. So like when they very first walk into the room, the three of them are all like hiding together behind, say, like another one of those display cases, and that clicker comes like creeping around the corner slowly, but then it gets right in Joel's face and just like screeches. Because of like that, even though they were being silent, he was just like able to fucking use that sonar and just kind of
Interesting. So you can still hide as long as the sound waves aren't hitting you directly because they're behind the case or
Yeah.
whatever. That's cool. I like that.
That's also why, like Seth was actually brought up earlier. That's why that, like, say, like bottles and bricks to like throw as distractions is such a huge thing. So it's like, whoosh, all right, now I can move freely. Like my footsteps won't be fucking because he's making his own noise, kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's cool. another awesome aspect.
Yeah, no, all that shit. They're just nailing all of it. They're knocking it out of the park. So we got out of the museum. We get to the rooftop, and this was a really, really cool little scene as far as for the gamers go, because a lot of this was again kind of pulled right from it. And we see, Joel's going to be using the electrical tape, like we said, to tape up Tessa's foot. And a big thing to use to get around buildings is going to be just these, big, huge beams that will lay down basically as like a little mini bridge. And fucking Joel's like, yeah, I know it looks fucking scary. Ellie's like, bro, this is a piece of cake.
Nothing compared to what I
block.
just dealt with. Yeah.
Just blows right over it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we see that we're at the State House. We see the State House like in the distance, and we see Joel and Ellie like looking from the back, like right at the State House, which is a shot taken right from the game. And then she says the whole hell of a view thing, which again taken right from the game. Yeah. But awesome, loved it. Again, I mean, I know I'm a huge fan of the game, so I'm a sucker for all their Easter eggs. But I've told people this time and time again, I feel like this is some of the best storytelling on any media platform. So I love that they're not going too far away from the actual story.
No,
it's good.
They're giving you a good homage.
Yeah.
Giving you an homage if you play the game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of the cool thing I was talking to you before about it, Nick, was the showrunners were saying they didn't want the actors to watch the scenes that were going to be used directly because they wanted them to have their own take on it.
Yeah.
So like they are really similar, but they kind of have a little bit of differences too.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably a smart move.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like imitating the.
No, you want to come off a little more natural.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be shocked if anything in this show is like as perfect frame for frame as Sarah's death was. I still can't get over it. Like 2.5 weeks later. It was like I said, I've played the game now like I don't even know 5 times. It moved me the first 5 times I played it, and then when I watched it last week, I was just like, oh my god, it's somehow so much sadder all over again. Like it's real people now, and just like her whelping, unable to get out a single like word at all, and Joel just like I know, and he's just. Even as he's trying to pick her up, she's almost trying to lift herself up to go with him, even though she's literally just in so much pain. It crushed me. Crushed me. It fucking crushed me. It was like I said, it was so perfect as far as how the game did. It was the exact same. It was awesome. But it's time to keep moving forward. Tess is like, all right, let's keep it moving. Let's head down this ladder. Ellie, all right, Ellie, keep it moving. She goes down right after Tess. And then this was that quick little spot that I was talking about where I thought Joel started really showing signs that there's some connection between her and Sarah, because right after she starts climbing down the ladder, they just had this cute little moment looking at the State House together. He looks down at his watch that we've seen from episode 1 that she had fixed for him on his birthday. So it's just kind of like he's having a little time to reminisce and think about his daughter and how Ellie kind of reminds her of him, the same thing a little bit.
It's going to start building. You can tell.
Definitely.
Their connection's going to start building big time.
Definitely.
He's fighting it, but can't avoid it.
Yep.
He's doing everything he can to not get attached because he knows he might have to kill her, or he might just lose her anyway.
Again. Right, yeah.
Whether it's losing her or being the one who has to put her down. But
yep, exactly. Or even if they get to where they're going, that just like, all right, so I'm going to just drop you off with the Fireflies and then
see you later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
And she's literally like Jesus Christ. She's the savior of like the human race.
Exactly.
So, like,
The chosen one.
Exactly. And then we go to what is going to be our last scene here. So we're going to close things out for this episode. This was a crazy, crazy ending. This was kind of what I was hinting at last week when I said I thought shit might get pretty wild in episode 2 if I'm right. We get to the State House, and we see that there's a Firefly truck out front. Joel's going to go and kind of investigate it, snoop it out. Turns out the truck's completely empty, no soldiers in it. So we're like, all right, what the fuck's the deal here? What's going on? There's no one in the truck, no driver, no one watching the truck. This is, kind of weird. Ellie notices some blood leading into the building, so she's like, yo, well, fucking something must have gone on in here. So that's when we're going to enter the State House, and we see that all the Firefly soldiers are all dead. Turns out that turns out one of them got bit, got sick, kind of turned on the others. Next thing you know, every gun stopped blazing, people start shooting each other, and next thing you know, everybody's dead. Bad. So now it's kind of like, all right, what the fuck do we do? This was the whole point here, is we were supposed to be bringing Ellie to them to drop off. We were going to be getting our truck, our battery, and our guns to go and find Tommy. Well, now what are we going to do? So Joel's like, yo, it's time to fucking go back home. Like, this shit's done. Like, there's nothing else for us to do.
Yeah, we failed. Yeah, that's it.
Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
So not even, we were talking
Not
about
failed.
Everyone's
Right.
dead.
Yeah,
It's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
Failed was a bad way of saying it, but yeah, like
maybe if the truck that they
That's
drove
it.
there in still works, so maybe we'll have a truck and a battery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's like best case scenario.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But fucking right then is when things are gonna start kind of getting intense. Tess is like, nah, you know, I'm not going back. There's no more going home for me. And another line plucked right from the game. She goes, our luck had to run out sooner or later. And as soon as she said that, Joel's kind of a little confused, and Ellie gets it right away. She's like, she's fucking infected. She got bit. Joel, you know, almost doesn't just believe it. Even though he knows it's true, he like doesn't believe it. He's like, let me see the fucking thing. And sure enough, as soon as he sees the massive bite on her neck, he's like, fuck. But Tess, being the smart girl that she is, she's like, dude, look at this. Like, this is from, 3 hours ago, and it looks like my fucking neck's about to burst.
Yeah, right.
This girl's gotten bitten twice,
Yeah.
and it's healing.
I'm not the
Like,
chosen
this
one.
is the real
Yeah, she
deal. You
is.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? So she convinces him, like, hey, you gotta keep bringing this girl. You gotta keep bringing her west. She's like, bingo. She even says, promise me bring her to Bill and Frank. She also mentions kind of what I was saying earlier, that Joel's got some commitment issues, because she even said, like, I think she said something along the lines like, he never really wanted to get too attached to me, kind of a thing. It's like, again, he's scared of losing somebody else after he lost Sarah.
Yeah.
And clearly, him and his brother Tommy had a falling out, so he kind of lost his brother too.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't want to get attached to anybody, including Tess, even though they have a bit of a relationship. Bring her to Bill and Frank. They'll take care of it from there. And Joel's like fucking kind of torn for a minute, but then the instincts kind of take over. And as he's it seems like he's getting ready to, a fucking soldier, one of the dead guys, pops up, comes back to life. Joel pulls out his gun, puts it down real fucking quick. And when he puts it down, the zombie like goes dead, but like we were kind of talking about earlier, it falls dead like on a patch of that fungus on the ground. And when it does that, it seems like what we learned earlier, that the fungus almost sent out like a notification to all of the fucking nearby fucking infected. It was like, hey, come, food.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean?
Life.
So sure enough, Joel goes over to the door and he's just like, shit, like they're all coming. We have like a minute. Tess acts quick. She starts popping the canisters off the gasoline. She's getting ready to blow this place the fuck up. And she's like, hey, like it's time to go. Sure enough, Joel does what he has to. He grabs Ellie. Ellie doesn't want to. She goes kicking and screaming. You know what I mean? But that's, again, loyal cat. Ellie's a loyal cat. But they go away, kicking and screaming, dragged out the door.
Yeah, pretty brutal that they can't even like embrace or like hug. Like
No.
they clearly have a bunch of love for each other, but not only do they have no time, but he doesn't want to get infected.
No, for
He
sure not.
Obviously, couldn't kiss her. Just kind of like brutal for him. But a lot of it's like you said, that he just refuses to get to that point with people as well.
Yeah. After the even though it's been 20 years and shit, but I mean, this world, anybody you've probably ever gotten close to anyway now, it's probably lost them too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that he's lost so much, it's just avoidance at all costs. Like I said too, his emotional detachment, he doesn't ever process his emotions, which I don't know if that's something that we're going to deal with too in the show, but like there's constant times where Ellie's just trying to just ask him, not basic, but just trying to like get to know him, and he just won't have it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He just like won't let like the guard down. Just won't let himself open to another human.
You can tell in the prologue too. He's like, they show him at the camp, and he's like literally just fucking dumping. Like he has like a kid in his arm.
Yeah.
He's just like dumping bodies in
yeah.
the fucking fire. Like
Yep.
yeah, he's just numb.
Has to be detached to survive, kind of thing.
It's true. It definitely is true. I mean, yeah, the next day he was going to shovel shit. It's like if you're actually thinking about all the things you're doing, you're just going to fucking kill yourself. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
But so him and Ellie, like I said, he's going to drag Ellie kicking and screaming out the back door. Tess has knocked over all these canisters of gasoline. Next thing you know, the infected stop flooding through the front door. And as she's getting ready to blow this place up, of course, in typical fashion, her light is not working. She's fucking hitting this thing a billion times. And while she's doing that, one of these infected kind of starts sniffing her out. They come on over to her, and he, like, basically tries to start making out with her. You can tell that he can. There's got to be something there as far as the fact that she was already bitten, that he could, again, it's a smell or some kind of a signal through the brain of the fungus or something like that.
Yeah.
But it seemed like, because he didn't like attack her, you know what I mean? He didn't go out at like 100 miles an hour try to like bite her or eat her or anything like that. He went over to her so like calmly, and then just like, like I said, basically started trying to make out with her, and you see the fungus start trying to go into her mouth and shit. But it's like he had, you know what I mean? He had to
Yeah.
be able to sniff that out. Like, you're like me kind of a thing.
Was this different, or this kind of reeked of something that was just like, it was more of like the cinematography of it than what it was that was accurate from the game?
This was a little bit different entirely. Tess like does die in the state house right here, but it's a little bit different.
So it's
Rather
not
than
anything like
infected,
that.
Soldiers like are right on our heels.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got fucking bit, dude. Like, I'm gonna try to give you guys some fucking time to like, I'll hold them off so you guys can go ahead.
Right. So like sacrifices herself more than
Yeah.
she still does in this, obviously, but
Yeah.
like I said, this one reeked. It wasn't
Shout out.
like cheesy or anything, but you could tell it was like they seemed like they were doing their own thing with like the cinematography of it and
Yeah.
making it a little bit more like poetic.
Yeah. I think they wanted to do something too. Is after that, they introduced that theory of the whole fungus being underground and being able to communicate. I think they wanted to show a little bit of sort of how it worked in the same episode. you
Yeah,
know
that
what I'm
too.
saying?
Yep.
So it seemed like it made more sense to do it with the infected.
Yep.
It also gave us a look at, like I said, there's a difference between the infected and the clickers. Obviously, they're a lot different, but we got to look at both of them and shit.
Yep.
I thought it was good. It was gross. As soon as that friggin' infected went over to it and started,
Yeah, like ew.
oh
no.
Yeah. So you think it's? I wasn't sure if it was just because she wasn't struggling or running away, but you think it's more that
It
sensed
could be
the
that
fungus.
too, but I do especially just because we keep talking about it like it's like this living, breathing thing. You know what I'm saying? Almost like with a mind of its own.
Yeah.
I just feel like they had to have been able to sense each other somehow. You know what I mean?
I think it could be because in the podcast too, the guy mentions that there is like, it almost has like a love. Like I don't know, it's like its need to reproduce is its form of love.
Yeah, I got you.
And so that's kind of like how we got to that point with that scene.
Yeah, even
So
like
I get what you mean.
one of my favorites is World War Z there, but like so basically like that one, Brad Pitt ends up just injecting himself with like a different like some kind of a virus basically, and it works as like a camouflage basically at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? So it's like the infected are just like almost sniffing out like good health in a way. You know what I'm saying? So once you're
Cool.
infected with something, it's like, oh, this guy's like me. He's fucking sick too. You know what I mean? So
Right.
move on to the next.
Part of the army. Yeah. Cool.
So that's kind of a similar vibe, you know what I mean, to what I got in that. But then, we kind of see Tess is able to, while she's getting, unfortunately, some fungi down the throat, she's able to get the lighter off and send friggin' fire to the state house, blow up the place. And we see Joe and Ellie outside, just kind of watching from the distance. And Joe kind of starts hitting the road first, which I thought was a good showing of these two characters and how they deal with things. Joel's just quick to not deal with it and just move on and just keep moving and not process things. Like, all right, let's just go.
Gotta.
We're going to Bill and Frank's.
Yeah, you gotta.
While Ellie stays around for a second, kind of just staring and just kind of like longing a little bit. Like, fuck, I liked her. She was the one of the two of you guys that wasn't a total dick.
Yeah.
And then she kind of does a nice thing where she turns and looks towards Joel, who like walked off screen, and she's just, you can tell like her thoughts just like, fuck, like now it's just
Stuck
me
with
and
this
guy.
asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm stuck with this guy.
Yep.
But a great ending to the episode. I thought great. I thought this was an awesome episode as far as building the world. And like I said, falling in love with Ellie and Bella Ramsey's performance with her. I thought this was a really, really solid second episode.
Yeah. And it was like emotionally, because like I said, you had much more of a, I don't say like a mother-daughter kind of like bonding thing, but I thought Tess was kind of taking on that like motherly role for Ellie versus Joel still being
softer,
cold. Yeah.
more emotional still.
So you had that relationship building a little bit, and
Yeah.
it's gone. It's like, take it away.
That's one thing that I did like about this show, even though she did just pass away at the end of the episode. They did definitely extend her character in this show more so than in the game.
Yeah, but it also wasn't like it wasn't like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where like Joel's a dick and she's just like being sincere. Like you can tell she wants to take on more of that like motherly role and be a little more. So it's like I said, it's not just the generic Joel's being a dick, so she's got to be nice. So like I said, that relationship was building, and they took it from us.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm looking forward. The preview for episode 3, like we found out, is going to be the Bill and Frank episode, which I think is going to be. I think this one's going to be like a good time. It's going to be definitely crazy and still a little sad at some points, but I think this is going to be a crazy one as far as some action. I think.
Nick Offerman's such a weird role for me in this like serious stuff.
is.
So.
It is
I think he
strange.
can pull it off. I'm not saying like I'm not gonna like it, but
Bill is a bit of an
interested to
odd
see.
duck too, which I feel like is good for Nick because he is kind of an odd duck.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I
he's
mean?
fucking Ron Swanson. Like that's all
Yeah.
I can fucking think of.
I'll tell you.
I had to
this.
tell myself going here. I'm like, don't call him Ron Swanson. Like it's fucking Nick Offerman, and that's it.
You're gonna. I bet you it was like by his performance too. You're gonna tell that Bill's character wasn't exactly all there before.
Couple
this whole thing
screws
started.
loose.
Yeah. Yeah. He was already a little bit of lost the whiz. But I'm looking forward to this one. I think there's, like I said, I think there's gonna be some more action in this, and there's gonna be some good storytelling though too. I'm interested to see what they do with it, and I think that Boy, after this third episode, I think is when things are really going to start getting more and more intense. Things are
More and more intense. More. They want to. What do you mean, dude?
There's one episode that I'm.
There's watched 2 episodes that I'm on the edge of my seat.
Fucking nuts, man. There's gonna be one episode that I'm looking forward to big time. That'll be coming later down the road. It's
Fuck
gonna be
yeah,
a
then.
heavy Ellie episode. But this show's so far, man. I can't really say a bad thing about it. I mean, people are loving it. That's what makes me happy is that it's not just me and it's not someone that's just too close to it. But even people that haven't played the game. My mom watched the first episode. My mom, she's like, "That was so sad. It was really good." I was like, "Yeah, just get ready because it's going to be a lot of sadness the whole way through."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even she liked it. You know what I mean? Like, it's really good, man. And you can tell, like we've kept saying, HBO put the fucking bank behind this show, and it shows, man.
All chips were in on this one.
You know, no cheesiness, no cheap looks at all. I can't wait for episode 3. We'll be watching it in New Hampshire. At least I know I'll be watching it in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I can't wait.
Fuck the football games.
I can't wait, baby. I'm excited, especially if it's going to be another 80-minute one. It's going to be a banger. I'm very, very excited. But do you guys have anything else for this week's Last of Us? Luke, you got anything else? Seth?
No, I think we covered a lot of good shit here.
Like you said, there's not one thing. I'm not like, well, there was this. Like, nope. No. I got nothing.
Yeah,
nailed the clickers, nailed the city, the destruction. Bella Ramsey's killing it right now. Joel's time to shine is gonna be coming soon. Once he lets his guard down a little bit, I think Pedro Pascal is really gonna shine. Right now, he's just kind of being just tough, hard ass clothes.
Yeah, has to be.
But that's how it's gonna start. And once those onion peels start coming off, I think he's gonna shine like he always does. I love Pedro. But I said Bella Ramsey, man, to me, fucking killing it, just killing it.
Yeah, I don't understand the hate. I saw she got some hate.
Really?
I don't know why.
Oh man, see, I can't even see that. I feel like I'm falling in love with her all over again. Just her portrayal. It's a little bit different, but it's still the core of it is still the same.
Yeah, for sure. You can tell.
I mean? But I can't wait. Episode 3, Sunday night. We'll be back here next week after our nice little ski trip to talk about it. Though we got a couple of other things on the agenda. There's that new Netflix movie I want to check out there with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I thought it was already out. I was trying to watch it. Is it this week? Yeah,
I think it's this week.
Can't think of the name of it, but
I can't either.
They were showing previews for it, and I was like, "Oh, is it out?" And then I put on Netflix, and it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it's this week. I think it might be Friday. Usually the Netflix movies are on Friday, so maybe that's something you can check out this weekend. Maybe, Luke. We're usually looking for a movie to toss on or something like that.
I'm down.
Before we close things out, free recommendation for you guys. This one is specifically based on my pure love for this movie and the fact that me and Luke are headed north this weekend. If you haven't seen Out Cold, then do yourself a favor and go and watch it right now. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. Zach Galifianakis before he was Zach Galifianakis. Kevin Ball before he was Kevin Ball. So many great people in that movie. One of my absolute favorites. I watch it every single ski trip up north. I laugh my ass off. If you're a skier or a snowboarder, you gotta watch it. Gotta watch it.
It's a winner.
What was it?
I said, you got Roy from The Office in there too.
Yeah, Roy. Yeah.
Going back to it's called You People, and it actually dropped 5 days ago.
Oh, it dropped 5 days ago?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, perfect.
So it dropped on.
Right.
It was a Saturday when it came out. So
All
should
right.
be out. And just a couple quick things I was saying. People are raving about it. Like one guy said that this is the funniest thing Netflix has ever come up with. So
Interesting. All right.
we shall
Jonah
see.
Hill is hilarious, so
Yeah.
I love Jonah.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe we'll review that next week. We'll have episode 3 of The Last of Us, so check those things out this week. As always, thank you to Mr. Luke Kleinen on the ones and twos, baby. Couldn't be here without you.
You got it, baby. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. And it's my co-host this evening, looking sharp as ever, Mr. Seth Rogers. I'm sure we'll be catching up with you very soon.
Yep. Appreciate you. You boys have fun up north, and yeah, we got some catching up to do when you come back.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
It's a
sir.
shame that you're not going to be there this year. Oh, what? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Shame you're not going to be there this year. Usually the big group trip, your parents are going to be up there with us.
I know.
Have a good time.
It was an 11-day cruise, New Hampshire trip.
Yeah.
I just
I hear you.
Had to.
Bachelor party coming up. I hear you. A lot of trips. But we will talk to all of you guys next week. As always, please remember to share the show around on your channels. Subscribe to our channel, especially on YouTube. Like, comment, review, all of that. That helps us, and we want more eyeballs on the show. It's the only way we're ever going to grow, and that's what we're trying to do here. We've been doing this for a long time now, episode 21. So it's time to start getting the growth moving. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, 100 subscribers on the YouTube page, 2 $40 gift cards to the AMC Theater to 2 lucky listeners. We're going to do a live raffle right here on the show. We got our Oscar show coming next month, later in February, so we're going to be giving more details out about that, the next coming weeks. But that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight. Thank you as always. Happy listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.